Good evening, Nation. Welcome once again to another episode of Rogue Nation. I guess we're on episode 26.
Yeah.
Tonight, we got the whole crew back again. We got Kevin to the core.
Yo, welcome back.
We got Heel Hunter Joe.
I don't clean rooms.
You don't clean rooms because you're not a Disney maid.
There you go. We got Just George back again.
I'm back, baby.
Back from the trenches. And, of course, your host, me, the big man, Justin.
Hi, Justin.
So excited.
I think Justin would be the manager to a hot Disney maid.
What?
I don't even know where
I'm
you're
trying
going.
to sneak it in as much as I
That's
can.
not sneaky. You're like
If you
throwing
say it, you don't sneak it.
Yeah, you're like booting it in there.
All right, mean girls. I won't try and make fetch happen.
Hey, on Wednesday we wear pink.
I don't.
Oh.
We're recording on a Wednesday and everyone's wearing pink, believe it or not.
You're the only one drinking pink LaCroix.
Yeah.
Welcome, everyone, to the last episode of Rogue Nation. Next week, we start the Mean Girls podcast.
Did you guys miss me?
Tonight? No. Tonight?
I like it.
So, of course we missed you, George. Joe, I almost called you Joe.
Hey, bro.
You got Joe on the mic.
So tonight, there are a lot of Funko news that we can talk about, but we're not going to. We're going to wait because it's just a lot and we don't want to get into it tonight. But just know that New York Comic Con is coming up and they are releasing a ton of pops.
When is that? October?
Yeah.
Damn.
First week of October.
Mm-hmm.
Next week.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so we'll get into it
We'll get next week, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
man.
it's the next. It's
Next
Thursday.
week they will reveal more.
Yeah. Well, no, they revealed everything already.
Okay.
So we know it's coming, but it's just a lot to get into tonight. So
Well, we can do a preview next week because it's the night before.
Yeah.
yeah. We'll do
And then
like
it's Friday.
Oh,
Ooh,
really?
Triple
Friday.
force triple.
Ooh.
Isn't that like a bad movie?
So
It's not the last.
like last week, as I promised last week, we are going to talk a little bit about the Disney upgrades that are coming to the theme parks. One of the main things that was revealed at D23 is that Epcot is getting a huge overhaul. It's going to be upgraded and made into something more modern, which, depending on where you stand on that park, it either is a travesty or it's been greatly needed. I've always really enjoyed that park because I always thought that park is stuck in the 80s. So I always, because that's the feel. Whenever you walked in there, it was just like, I'm back in the 80s again. But they're going to upgrade most of the stuff in the Future World part of that park, and they're going to rename a lot of the areas too. So it's not just Future World. They're going to have avenues. So you're going to have where the land and seas with Nemo and everything like that. That's all going to be like Discovery area, I think it's called.
Yeah. The futuristic one.
Yeah.
As long as you still have that ride, that Mission to Mars ride that spins you around, G-Force thing. I love that ride.
You like that, right?
I wrote
Mission Space?
Mission Space.
That's on
no,
the
no,
side.
no, not Mission Space.
Yeah, it's the
That's what it's
G-Force.
been-
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's Mission Space. I rode that thing 5 times in a row one time.
Jesus,
sorry.
you really don't get motion sickness.
No, I get zero motion
Oh
sickness.
my god.
So
I'm the opposite.
the side, yeah,
Me too.
with simulators especially now. It used to be the opposite. It used to be regular roller coasters I get sick on. Simulators, no problem. It's flipped for me now. I ride Star Tours. I get off. I have to stand next to a garbage for 5 minutes because I'm like, I can't.
Yeah.
I can't. And I'm really worried about the Millennium Falcon ride because it's like I really want to ride it, but it's a simulator.
Yeah,
Right, yeah.
I hear that one moves around a bit.
Yeah. So the park is going to be broken into 4 neighborhoods, and then you're going to have World Celebrations going to be the main drag where Spaceship Earth is, and then behind Spaceship Earth you still have the Pin Trader, but then behind that where the fountain used to be, that's going to be gone. They're already in the process of removing that. And then they're going to put in, I think you're going to put a smaller fountain in there, but that whole side is where Club Cool and the Starbucks was. That's all getting torn down.
Really?
Yeah, and they're going to put like, I think that's where the Moana ride's going to go, the Journey of Water.
Damn.
Is somewhere over
I actually
there.
like the Cola Club.
There's, yeah. And I don't. I know that the Starbucks is coming back. They've already said the
Of
Starbucks
course.
is coming back. I don't know about Club Cool though. I haven't heard if that's going to come
I
back.
actually like
What is that? I've never done
You
that.
never done Club Cool? You go in there and you could have free soda, all the free soda you want, but it's from around the world.
Right.
So they had like Mezzo Mix, which was like an orange flavored Coca-Cola. They had a
Inca
watermelon.
Cola.
Yeah, they had like a watermelon flavored from Japan, and then of course the most notorious, which was the Beverly from Italy,
Ugh.
which was an aperitif. So it was supposed to cleanse the palate in between meals. It tasted nasty.
Yeah, it was wretched.
But people swore by it. Like every time they talked about getting rid of it, they were like a huge protest would rise. People would be like, "You can't get rid of that. Everybody, it's part of the thing." And like,
Meme culture.
And you're right, and exactly to George's meme culture point, like people in there would tell first timers, "Oh, you got to try that.
yeah,
one. You got to
that
try
used
the
to be the
Beverly."
joke. Was
Just as a
like
joke.
if we were to take you, that would be the first thing you got to try this, man.
I mean, you can tell me it's horrible. I'd probably still try it just for the,
I mean, it happened to me. The first time I went in there, somebody was like, "You got to try this." I'm like, "Okay."
Yeah.
Oh,
for the lulz.
fuck
the
you.
lulz, yeah.
My favorite was besides the melon one, which was Japan, right?
I think
Watermelon.
I loved the kiwi one,
Yes, yeah,
which was Brazil.
I think that was Brazil. Yeah, the Mezzo
Well,
mix I think was
I remember
Africa.
that, yeah.
That was my favorite one.
Or-
Well, I would actually go back and have
wow.
more of that.
Well,
one.
there was all. I mean, they gave you like little cups.
Yeah.
That was all you could just sit. You could stood there all day.
Yeah, but who's gonna want to do it? You want to go to the world?
There were so many people in there dropping soda. The floor was permanently sticky.
Yes.
No matter how many times they mopped it, it was always sticky.
That reminds me of when I went to the Museum of Coca-Cola,
Yeah, I mean,
In
the World of Coke.
the World of Coke.
Yeah.
It's like, there are certain areas where it's like, yeah, this floor is, it's doing
nasty.
drop stuff on
See,
that.
and I thought like they opened up a similar Coca-Cola store at Disney Springs, and I thought that's what it was going to be like the World of Coke. It's not. It's just a giant
Yeah, but
store.
the top floor is sticky too.
Yeah, but the top floor is the bar, and you have to pay for it.
Yeah.
At the World of Coke, once you're done with the tour, you get all the soda you want to drink, and it's from all over the world.
Well, you do pay for the tour, so I guess.
But still,
they don't got any money.
you get the tour. The tour is what you're paying for. You know?
Yeah, that tour was great.
And Kevin, who do we call for that?
Ghostbusters?
Disney Maids. No.
Disney Maids, man.
You say who you're going to call, and my brain is pre-programmed to say Ghostbusters.
Well, I think in that case, it's like the Disney janitors.
So then the side with the land and Disney Sea, the Seas with Nemo is going to be called the World Nature, that's going to be that neighborhood. And then the side with the new Guardians of the Galaxy ride, which is supposed to be a reverse roller coaster. It's supposed to start in reverse
That's
And
gonna be
spin.
cool.
and spin. And then Spaceship Earth and
I'm not
Test Track and the Space Restaurant are
Right.
all going to be
Right.
a Discovery. Plus they're redoing the Living with the Land Pavilion. They're going to make that now something as well.
So that Discovery Avenue area is going to be basically Throw Up Alley.
Kind of, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all thrill over there. It's all thrill.
That sounds
They
rough.
threw out $2 billion just for Epcot. So
That's nuts.
And they're hinting at that they
That's
haven't
low.
told us everything yet.
exactly.
That there's still more to
Right,
come.
right.
Because in the World Showcase, you still have the Remy ride in France.
Right.
They're redoing the China Circle Vision and the Canada Circle Vision. And
Right.
there's talk that they're going to add a new pavilion.
Right.
They have it
Brazil.
supposedly Brazil.
But America's getting a new barbecue restaurant.
Yeah,
Ooh.
where
with a fast, with
Fuck.
a
yes.
yeah,
quick service. That shitty.
where all the
quick
flags
service.
are. Yeah, the
Right.
shitty quick. Yeah, where all the flags are. Yeah,
And just burgers and fries.
yeah.
Did you see the new monorail that we're getting?
monorail.
The new
The new monorails. So they
Simpsons.
in Tokyo they're already up. So this is the new monorail.
Oh, sweet. All right, with the
Very
windows
cool.
and everything. Yeah.
With the Mickey Mouse eared windows.
Well, you've seen that they're basically wrapping they're wrapping like every bus now
Right.
with characters,
Yeah.
and then the what's it called, the Skyway, the Skyliner. It
Uh-huh.
opens on the 29th,
Finally.
and they're already doing
It's already open.
no. It opens officially on the 29th. They're
Okay.
doing not pass
Like test?
employee
Oh,
rides.
because there's a bunch of videos on YouTube.
Oh yeah, they're all employees.
Okay.
So
Sure.
there was one I read where it pretty much confirmed what I thought was, if you're moving, there's a nice breeze
Right.
and everything like that. But if you're stationary,
Yeah, you
get
feel it.
ready to fucking sweat,
You feel it.
especially in this heat. So I'm just
Jesus.
like, that to me was just like, unless it's fucking 50 degrees outside, I ain't riding this.
Yeah.
fucking thing. Screw
When is it
that.
50 degrees here?
Exactly.
Never.
There's about 2 days in December and 1 in February.
About 2 hours here.
And that's like morning for like 5 seconds.
Right.
There's a layer of
By
fog as
11, you're
well.
sweating.
Spaceship Earth is going to get another overhaul. It's
Yes,
going to be
I saw that.
it's going to be not rethemed. They're going to change the theming a little,
Yeah.
and then obviously it's probably going to get a new narrator.
That needs
So,
it.
well, I mean, who they've had Walter Cronkite, they've had Jeremy Irons, and now Judi Dench. They had somebody in the middle there I can't remember. So just interesting to see who they pick. Nick, probably Benedict Cumberbatch or somebody
Hey.
with a deep, deep voice. Now for some bad news when it comes to theme parks.
Ooh.
If you live in Florida, we are not getting this, but in California,
Everything you just said.
Huh?
Everything
No,
you just said.
no.
Oh, I was
That's
like, what?
Epcot's only
Epcot's only here.
Yeah, I know.
I said now for some bad news, and if you live in Florida, you're not going to get what I'm about to say. But if you live in California and Euro Disney, and I believe in some of the Tokyo, like Shanghai Disney, I know for sure, they're getting Marvel rides. And in fact,
God damn it.
the Disneyland itself, it's going to be a California adventure. They're getting a whole Marvel land, and they're going to have a whole ride based around Spider-Man.
That reminds me of some other Spider-Man ride that exists nearby at Disney.
Not at Disney though.
Not at Disney,
Not
nearby.
Disney.
Yeah, they're in Florida. They're crippled by the Universal contract. As long as they can't do, but see, that's the thing. They can do Marvel characters. They just can't do the Marvel characters that they've been contracted to.
Yeah.
Which includes the X-Men, the Fantastic Four, Doctor Doom, Hulk, Spider-Man.
Well,
Because
cool.
they're all, but like Guardians of the Galaxy, they can get away with because nobody
Cool.
cared about the Guardians of the Galaxy.
And Doctor Strange, too. He's going to be in Hollywood Studios.
Makes sense.
Do a,
Oh, okay.
Oh, that'd be cool. I like that. I like Hollywood
You know what
Studios.
they probably could do? Captain Marvel,
Yeah.
Eternals, if that's a big hit.
There's Black Panther in.
That's actually a good one. That's
That would
actually
be a
another
really
good one.
Yeah. I mean, he's essentially
Especially
our,
in Epcot. In Epcot, since there's like showcases for
They should have a
Africa.
Wakanda area.
Yes.
That would be neat if they did that, like in one,
Just
like
put it
the
in there?
outpost, like the outpost area. That's nothing. You just make that like a Wakanda consulate.
Yeah.
That would be because you wouldn't have to change anything. You wouldn't have to change much. Let's put it that way.
Genius.
That
I'm
would be
submitting
so
this
cool.
right now. Submitting it right now.
Hello, Bob.
Yeah. Mr. Iger?
So
No. We're not the Disney Maids.
yeah, right.
And Joe just spit out his drink.
Just supposed to be mopping? No.
So
Just because of our accents.
there's a whole bunch of Marvel information coming to different Disney parks, but unfortunately, Florida is not going to get it because of the contract with
With Universal.
Universal Studios. But hopefully, something happens in the future. Contract breaks. Maybe Disney stops caring. I don't know. Maybe something will happen.
They
and-
write a blank check to Universal. Here, shut up.
Yeah, but then they'd have to tear down a whole side of their park. That's probably a moneymaker for them. But then again, they could just rebuild it as a part of Harry Potter. So I mean, it really doesn't matter.
Or Lord of the Rings.
Or Lord,
Just
Wait.
saying.
They have a few things they could throw in there.
Exactly.
Universal, yeah.
Yeah, they have a few properties.
I would have loved as like that kind of fan because I am a horror fan. It would have been cool if they had a whole area dedicated to just their monsters.
they did it one time. It didn't
Right,
do
they
very
did.
well.
Right.
And they tore it down.
But
At Universal, they had like a whole
Right.
area for the Universal
But
monsters.
the thing is that nowadays, the kids who actually like that grew up and can go pay for those things.
Well, it's funny you bring that up because that actually leads into the next part of this conversation,
There you go.
which is the rumors that Galaxy's Edge's attendance is very low. And one of the reasons, or not very, I shouldn't say very low, but are not as high as Disney was expecting.
Yeah.
And one of the reasonings is that Star Wars is just not as popular as it was with kids nowadays. It's not like you and me, where we grew up on it. It was like that's our religion. Kids nowadays have don't care.
I think also
That's crazy because George and I see, because we're big on like cons and we like seeing like people cosplay and stuff. There are a ton of families and kids dressing up as Rey, Kylo Ren, Poe Dameron. You get me? Like you're seeing it.
You see the ticket price as well. Disney admission is not exactly.
Well, yeah, Disney
cheap.
is slowly pricing out their base
Yeah,
because
it keeps going up.
every year the price goes up.
Yeah.
I have a bet with my wife.
Price goes up, parking goes up, and now you
Yeah.
have to pay for parking at Disney resorts.
Yes.
That's new.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why I don't stay. at
$15
Disney
$15 to park at a Disney resort, and that's just at a value. At a moderate, it's more.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, those prices can always go up and away.
But me and my wife have a bet that parking is going to be $100 within our lifetime.
Oh,
And here's the thing: if you get preferred parking now, it's $60 right now.
So is your bet for preferred parking or regular parking?
I didn't specify.
I
just said parking.
Yeah, I could see the next 20 years parking being $100.
Just imagine you're paying $100 to park and then spend $300 to get into a park. A park that when it opened was $10 to get in. And then you had to buy ticket books.
dude, big yikes.
That's the thing with, people going and making things more popular. A lot of people going to places. It's just they need to have less people there. How do you have less people go?
You could make it more expensive.
Make it more expensive.
Yeah. But see, the problem is what they're doing is they're pricing out the middle class.
Right. Yeah.
And then only the upper class is able to go.
Or someone who saves for a couple of years.
Yeah, but think about it this way. You save for 4 years to go to a park for 4 days. Or you go someplace else and you can stay for a week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Oh, yeah. I mean, hey, you could take a week-long cruise with the money you take for 4 days at a Disney.
Exactly. Yeah. And here's the thing. And it's not just, we're just talking about admission. We're not even talking about food.
Lodging.
Yeah. I mean, even if you stay around, you can find a good deal staying around Disney. That's still possible. But food-wise, especially with Disney's whole encompassing wanting you to stay on property, there's the McDonald's by one of the value resorts. That's it.
I've never spent
that might even still be there. I don't even know.
Wow.
I've never spent less than like $15 at a Disney park for food for like a single meal. It's always like
a single meal? No, yeah, I have easily.
Yeah, it's like $15 a person. Like, you want a burger?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. It's like
it's $8 for a burger, and then you got to pay for the drink, which you don't get any refills for.
And then you got to pay for fries.
And then you got
to pay for ketchup. That's what it feels like sometimes.
Sometimes it's not. Yeah. And here's the thing: you're not far off. It might be coming. It's like all these you gotta put the quarter in the condiment bar.
Yeah.
Oh man. Oh, dude, that'd be hilarious.
So my theory, along with my fiance, so let me not take all the credit. It was more hers, and I added to it. Both of our theories is that that everyone has the same mindset of, oh, it's packed, I'll wait.
Yeah.
But since everyone is thinking that, no, the attendance is not meeting to what Justin said, Disney's expectations.
But you've also got the huge amount of people that are around Disney that are pass holders that aren't going as well.
Well, remember, people are waiting for the 50th too.
That is true.
Next year.
Yeah.
What's the 50th?
50th anniversary, Magic Kingdom.
50th anniversary.
Oh, okay. What's the big deal?
Usually,
why not just go now to Galaxy's Edge?
Because during milestone years, Disney does a whole bunch of exclusive perks and stuff during their milestone years.
Okay.
And special collector's items. A lot of collector's
I don't know, because I'm thinking of like not even that much outside of our friends circle of hardcore Star Wars fans. No one I know personally has gone.
Yeah.
Maybe one coworker, Chris has gone. And he went to Disneyland one, not even the one here in the same state.
Next month.
An interesting thing that you bring up Disneyland. Remember, when Disneyland first opened with Galaxy's Edge, they had limits on how much time you could be there. Mm-hmm. You had to reserve space. It was a complicated mess, and I think that might have put people off on it.
A lot of people have been saying the same thing too. They've been getting there going, "This is it," because there's only one ride.
Yeah, it's one ride, a couple of stands, and then
December.
Well, I'm not one of those people. I'm just saying a lot of people are going and seeing Millennium Falcon and going, "Oh, that's the only ride."
Yeah.
And then they go, "Well, what else is there to do?" Well, you could do the lightsaber thing. Well, that costs $200.
Right.
Or you could do the droid thing. Well, that costs.
I understand because it's like group expectation. You expect because everyone dubs it Star Wars Land. No one is calling it against the layman guys. Mm-hmm. No one is calling it Galaxy's Edge. Everyone's like
Outpost.
It's Outpost, right? They're calling it Star Wars Land, so they're expecting a big ass layout like Marvel and Universal, Harry Potter and also in Universal, like big layouts carved into the park. But they're not expecting that. It's literally to what George just said. It's just an outpost. It's maybe 3 or 4 standing spots or sit down spots. I mean, the Millennium Falcon in the center, and then there's like a live action show.
Yeah,
and it's what Justin's saying. People are like, "That's it," and it's like, "Yeah, you literally could do the whole thing in
20,
and no, like maybe 3 or 4 hours, and you've done the whole corner." And there's YouTube videos that does the whole thing in under 2 hours.
Did you hear what they said this week? Mm-hmm. They have space allocated to expand.
Oh,
But
yeah.
where? In Disneyland or here in Disney World?
No, they
have
don't.
land over
They got no
Yeah.
land at Disney.
Oh yeah, Disney doesn't have
Here
anything.
they do.
Yeah.
Disney World.
But also remember the Star Cruiser Hotel is supposed to be
It's already
supposed to-
well
it's
now,
supposed-
but it's
a part of that because you're supposed to be
walk in.
you're supposed to be able to land supposedly because the
And
whole.
walk.
Have you heard the thing about the Star Cruiser Hotel?
I actually have not.
Okay, so they announced a long time ago that part of the Disney Star Wars expansion is they're going to have a Star Wars themed hotel.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. As it got closer, they started saying stuff. It's total immersion.
Right.
Once you get there, you're going to be, you're going to be in that world, everything like that. And we were all speculating how they're going to do that. Well, at D23, they announced it. The hotel is going to be themed like a Star Cruiser, like a cruise,
Like a cruise. Right.
except you're on a Star Cruiser.
Right.
You can only stay 2 days at a time, so you can't book a week at this hotel.
Right.
You can only stay 2 days
No,
at
I
a
think
time.
it's 2 nights, 3 days.
Okay, something like that.
Right.
They
3
give you a
days.
set amount of time,
Right.
but
Okay.
as soon as you're there, it's like being on a
Fully
cruise. You're
Right.
fully immersed, and then
Right.
you have your days at sea, and then you have your days which would be days in space, but then you have your day where you dock at Galaxy's Edge,
Right, and you walk.
Batu, and you Batu, right?
Right.
Yeah.
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 You dock at Batu one day, and you go and you do the things in Batu. It's just like being on a cruise.
Right.
that sounds.
And they said they're gonna cosplay like Kylo Ren's gonna come in and take over the starship. Like you'll
Yeah, they'll have
him,
little events.
Right, stormtroopers. will
But there'll
come
be
in.
things to do on
Right.
on the ship
Right.
that'll be reflective of Star Wars. So you'll have your
No.
Jedi training class.
Right.
Yeah,
You'll have stuff like things like that to
your
do.
stormtrooper missing
And
target
your
classes.
info's on the band, so when you're in Disneyland,
Oh yeah, it's all connected.
the people will refer to you as either a scum or a Jedi master or oh you suck or you're.
And then the
kid,
thing
or-
was like once you got into Galaxy's Edge, you could be photographed, and then your face could end up on a wanted
Right.
poster somewhere
right, you're
in
one.
there and stuff, and you could have a bounty on your head.
Right.
And because they've got people dressed up as people living on this outpost, there could be a bounty on your head, and you could be approached by a bounty hunter.
And be a part of the show.
Yeah. So
And see, and for lack of a better word, for nerds like us, that sounds fantastic.
yeah.
And then we hype it up, and then the laymen's are just like, they go see it, and they're just like, this is kind of basic.
But here's the
But
thing.
not only that, even for us, is the price.
Well,
Yeah,
and the
yeah,
other
yeah.
thing is too, of all the things that have been hyped, these little tiny things have not been hyped. It's always been, it's Star Wars, come see Star Wars. It's Star Wars, come see Star Wars. But if you were to start telling people about these little tiny things that are a part of this world, maybe more people are like, well, I got to go see that. I know when I hear about something interesting at a park that I've never seen before, I make it a point that next time I go look at that
Right.
thing.
Yeah.
It's true. To Justin's point, it's true. They haven't really marketed the whole thing of like at Galaxy's Edge. It came out, and I knew nothing of what was in there. So that's why, like I told George, I spent the whole day at work. Well, working, but on the side, watching YouTube videos of streamers and at Galaxy's Edge, just so I could get a feel for what is it, what was even in there, because Disney gave nothing. There was no details of it.
Yeah, really, it's kind of been radio silence. It's just kind of been like, come look at our giant Millennium Falcon, which,
Right.
okay, I do want to look at, but I'd like to know more.
More, right?
Maybe if they spend some time going, well, had some people go and start writing for the blogs, hey, there's these other things that are going to happen. Maybe more and more people would.
Yeah, people are just very focused on it's quote unquote Star Wars land.
I think
And write
at
a
the end of the
horror.
day, I think that's what Disney was kind of hoping for, was that you would just slap Star Wars on something and the fucking hordes would come out of the woodwork.
Right.
And now more and more people are like, look, if I'm going to spend that kind of money, I gotta get something. I gotta get a return.
Right.
I gotta know what I'm getting into.
I mean, yeah, I'd rather wait until the hotel opens up and then just do it all as one big package.
Because I know what they're thinking. Well, Star Wars Weekends was always such a big hit for us. It was free. It was with park admission.
Yeah.
And that was back when park admission was $75 to get in, $85 to get in. Now it's $109 to get into a fucking park.
I got lucky. I bought tickets a year ago. Special deal, 2 passes. I think it was like $85-$90 each, but I have to use them within 3 years. I haven't used them yet, but it's coming around the time.
That's actually lucky.
But-
Now.
yeah.
And the
I have
thing,
tickets for $80.
and the thing with Star Wars Weekends is the Star Wars Weekends always had exclusive merchandise, always just for that weekend.
So more reason for the nerds to come out.
Exactly.
The nerds
But they
are
have
collecting.
exclusive merchandise.
But it's every week though. It's not just. I mean,
True, but-
with the Star Wars Weekends, you had 4 weeks,
That's true.
and you had 4 weeks to get that exclusive merchandise, and it was gone.
I think that they just didn't make the correlation between exclusivity, like, how limited
Like,
things are.
I'm starting to get a little worried. Obviously it's not going anywhere for years, but I'm afraid that they're going to start changing things that I've heard about that I want to see. Like, I want to go and get as many of those legacy lightsabers as I could possibly get my hands on.
Yeah, those
But-
are going nowhere.
I'm hoping, but I at this point, I need to get in there and at least get the ones that I want the most. If I don't get any others, I'm fine, but I need to get in there and at least get the ones I want the most.
You gotta go Return of the Jedi.
I want Luke's. That's it.
I want Ahsoka Tano's doubles.
Ooh.
Ahsoka's, and I also want Asajj. The double Asajj.
Wait, who's Asajj?
Asajj Ventress?
Ventress. I was thinking, is it Ventress? Because she was always named Ventress, so I always assumed that was her first name.
Obi-Wan's check.
So that is Theme Park Minute,
That's it.
which took 25 minutes.
25.
That's not bad.
So moving on.
Well, it's true. We postponed it,
Yeah, we did.
talking about it, and then what happens, the news just kept rolling,
Yeah.
and it kept adding.
But we kept saying we're going to get to it, and I didn't want to disappoint anybody
No.
who was actually waiting for it. So that's kind of what's going on right now that we know about. I know there's a ton more information, but right now it's all just kind of like, these were the important talking points. So we're going to move on to some comics now, like always, favorite part of our show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. I want to start with a little bit of news that I read today that I actually thought was really cool. The Batman villain, Mr. Freeze, just got an upgrade. Anybody read about this? Anybody hear about this?
No.
No?
I know he's being featured recently in Detective Comics.
Yes, he's been featured very heavily in Detective Comics. He's been experimenting, number one, because remember, his whole modus operandi is he's got his wife frozen until he can find a cure for her disease.
Mhm.
Apparently, lately, he's started looking at other people who look like her, because the idea might be that he's going to try to transfer her over. But the new thing is he started experimenting with nanotech. And now he no longer needs the suit. The nanotech covers his entire body and keeps his core temperature -2 degrees Fahrenheit. So he no longer needs to have the bubble.
So now he's just walking around all white?
All blue.
Blue, right. That's a little strange now.
I mean,
Because comics
character
is
development.
more than half the part of superhero comics is the costume.
Well, he's still wearing like the red goggles and he's still wearing the weird outfit. He just no longer has to have the dome on.
Okay, it's not that bad.
he lost a major weak point.
Right, to fight Batman, he needs his suit.
But this helps. Now Batman doesn't have to punch a big ass globe.
Yeah, I mean, before, like, if you would break that, he'd be
That's
SOL.
it.
That's it. It's done. Game over.
Hey, let's all remember how he defeated Batman defeated Mr. Freeze on the animated series. Chicken soup.
It was chicken soup. That was funny.
That was funny, yeah.
That was one of the few episodes I revisited after I subscribed to DC Universe.
But was that better than Arnold Schwarzenegger being Mr. Freeze?
No.
Get the fuck
Of
out.
course, better.
Get out.
Of course, it's better.
Please.
Those puns were fantastic.
Please.
Top-notch 90s puns.
I love the driving of the cars on top of the rooftops.
Yeah,
I
that
thought
was so
fun.
bad.
And which one was? I think it was the Forever, where Gotham actually had its own version of the Statue of Liberty.
I bet.
Where that said Gotham along the top of
Jesus.
it.
It was so ridiculous. I was like, why?
Why?
Did we really need that?
I mean, Warner Brothers.
Okay,
So Freeze is getting an upgrade in what? In the Detective Comics book,
Yeah.
which is still Tomasi. Peter Tomasi.
Mhm. Did you hear about the new creative team for Batman after Tom King?
No, I've been dying. I've been looking on Twitter for that. I have no idea who's reading that. Who's writing Batman after Tom King gets off?
I know.
Say it. Don't
Hey, wait, confirm the rumor.
I don't know what the rumor is.
No, I'm asking you. What you know? Is it known or is it?
Oh no, it's been
rumored?
announced.
Oh, okay.
it's
Go
been
ahead.
announced.
I'm surprised you didn't see it. This has been
No,
officially
dude, I've
announced.
looked for it on Twitter and I
I think
Well,
Facebook.com.
Wow.
Prepare to be disappointed.
Oh no.
It's Tinian, James Tinian IV. But Tony Daniel is going with him.
Okay, Tony S. Daniel. Okay.
That's the
I
new
mean,
thing.
he's wacky. You know, George and I
Yeah.
jumping on Justice League Dark. He's wacky and he's very villain centric. So that's kind of cool. It's kind of in his wheelhouse.
the lesser Snyder.
Right, the lesser Snyder.
Man.
I guess he's Snyder's cousin. Snyder brought him in. So I'm not really excited about this. I'm going to give it a shot,
Yeah, we're all give it a shot. of
but
course.
I don't know how long I'm going to stick with it because I love Tomasi and I dropped the detective. So
Me too. Boy, and I was hyped with Joe on it. We both were.
I remember you were.
We were hyped on it, and then just like it died quickly.
Fizzled.
Yeah, it fizzled out so fast.
So, getting into some comics, Power Rangers 43, Joe. What do we got? What are we doing? What are we reading?
We're back to
This is the Necessary Evil event, right?
right, but it
Wait,
ties back-
43 or 42?
43 is this week,
Yeah, it came out today.
right? But I talked about 42 last time.
Oh, okay.
About
So what? So you
Dane.
already read 43?
Yeah.
God damn.
That means it's good. We should read this.
All right. Well, I've had it. I just haven't gotten
Ties
it.
back to Shattered Grid. Jason
Nice.
now knows because after Shattered Grid, no one remembers the events of Shattered Grid.
Isn't it only the young ones?
Nobody.
Nobody?
Nobody.
The fuck?
But today, Jason woke up and he knows. He knows, and since he shattered the Morphin Grid, that's what gave the new Blue Ranger, the Omega Blue Ranger, her powers.
Oh, I thought she got her powers.
So when he broke the grid, it spread through the universe. Some people got Power Ranger powers. Some people just died. Yeah. So her whole family got wiped out, but she got the Power Ranger power.
Mhm.
So now she's living with, fuck, I'm a Power Ranger, but my family died.
What a price.
Right. So she's kind of torn. She's like, fuck, I'm a Power Ranger, but I don't want to be one because you killed my family.
But she doesn't
So
know.
her power, her power legitimately gave her responsibility.
Correct. She's Uncle Ben.
She's Uncle Ben and
And
Peter
Peter.
simultaneously.
Yeah. Wow.
Wow.
Rough.
Jesus, Kevin. He didn't even read the book.
I will.
Tommy's still failing. Dane is mopping the floor with the other team, and Tommy can't do a damn thing about it.
Dane is the
The dog.
The dog.
The bounty hunter
dog Zord. The
So the Omega Rangers were sent by Zordon to a planet where all these bad guys were converting because one of them tapped into the Morphin Grid, and he's like, I don't need any bad guys, any more bad guys tapping into the Morphin Grid. So he goes, they go, but she could read their minds, so she knows the Power Rangers are there.
Oh,
She's like,
man.
you guys might as
Rough.
well morph and fight us because I know you're here. So
Rough.
they're like, okay.
okay, fine, we'll fight.
Let's do it. Let's fight. They fight. She's the queen of this planet. I forgot her name, but whatever. She didn't tap into it. They thought it was her. It was one of her minions or Disney maid. Because he basically cleans up her palace. He's the one that tapped into it. He kills her while they're fighting. The Rangers take him. Like, okay,
So wasn't even a bad guy.
he turned out to be a bad guy because they took him in like, oh, we'll take you to our sanctuary. It turned out so he could go back and tell the bad guys where the Power Rangers,
Right.
where the Omega Rangers lay their heads, I guess, or where Zordon gives them their
Missions.
missions. So when they got back and as he's turning on them, Zordon's like, go help Tommy because this guy sucks.
That's really funny.
So Jason's like, fine. But as they go do the more to transport, he attacked them. And already he warped in a bunch of bad guys.
Cool.
You know, I find it funny that in the original show, Tommy was made to be such a
Even
badass,
in the book it says it. Like when all else fails, Tommy's supposed to save you.
and then now he's
not saving
They
you.
made him like useless.
And Zordon's telling
But
the team,
to me, it's good because when the character is so OP, what do you do with them? You kind of have to
You
either
kill him and you bring another one in.
no, you kind of nerf them, or you make them more humane. And then in that humanity, it's you're still you're kind of nerfing them.
Yeah, it's a different nerf.
but yeah, he's just like help Tommy. But Zordon's telling the other Rangers he's just trying to get used to the White Ranger powers. He hasn't got a grasp
Makes
to
sense.
it. But Kimberly's like she calls Trini, which they must have Verizon or something, because for Trini to answer a cell phone call in like Saturn or something,
Yeah,
she's like, "Hey, we need your help."
I
Come
love
back.
it. Must have Verizon.
It's just, and I'm like, you're
Tie-
on Saturn.
Tied into the little risk communicator.
Right.
Jesus.
But no, but remember, they're not supposed to know that they're Rangers.
Oh,
The
that's right. Because when
original
you're not
Rangers
a
don't
ranger, you don't have the.
Correct. She just calling with, "Hey, Tommy sucks."
I love it.
I love it. Yeah, this is great. This is.
Can you put Jason on the phone?
Grid Mobile.
I want to trade from green to red again.
That's what they're on. The Grid Mobile.
Mobile. That'd be a great carrier.
Hey, on Doctor Who, all he did was point the screwdriver at the
And everything
the
always
phone,
works.
and then all of a sudden they could call from anywhere in the universe, anywhere in time.
It was legitimately the greatest Deus Ex Machina.
Yeah,
Well, Doctor Who is filled with those.
Yeah, I know.
things just work because they work.
No.
Well, there was a lot of complaint for a while there because I hate that this is a digression, but a lot of complaint because the screwdriver became a crutch.
Oh, crutch, really?
Well, yeah, because writers would write the show, and then at the end of the episode, go, and then Doctor Who uses a screwdriver and saves the day, because it would really just become the way they fixed everything.
Yeah.
So that was why a lot of doctors for a while there they lost their screwdrivers so that they could
Actually do something.
Yeah.
Use intelligence instead of just, relying
Quick
on
back to Power Rangers. Zach makes a joke to Zordon. Hey, shouldn't we pan this? Because people on Earth are using these now. He points at the watch.
I love it.
He doesn't say I watch, but he's like, should we pan this?
I know that it's modernized.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
I laughed. I was like, Jesus.
George, what'd you read?
I only read,
The Big Book?
yeah.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
hold off.
Okay.
Last week I really didn't have anything.
Well, Guardians was last week.
Not getting Guardians.
Oh,
And
so
here's the
good,
thing.
man.
Don't scoff at me.
The Donnie verse is so good.
I mean, yeah. Eventually.
Come on.
You better copyright that.
I have not read Absolute Carnage 3, but we can talk about it.
Dude, Absolute Carnage 3. This Absolute Carnage event, besides the X books, this is the only other event that has just been so good. It's been fire. It's been so awesome. So I think the ending of Absolute Carnage 2, the kids run away from the Maker when the Maker bonds with the other offsprings of Venom, which was Phage, Agony, Riot. Oh my God, why am I forgetting them? And Lash.
Right.
The last one is Scream. Scream is still on her own tie-in books that have yet to actually tie in yet, but
Hilarious.
whatever. We'll get to that, I'm assuming, because Carnage is literally gathering everyone, and creating his army. So all the tie-in books are like the background stuff. So Scream is one of them.
Yeah, but some of those books are actually tying in.
Yeah, like these four, the tie-in book was Separation Anxiety about a family. That actually tied in because they appeared in Absolute Carnage now. So so the kids lash out to the Maker because he entrapped Sleeper. I think I mentioned this in the previous podcast of Sleeper coming back and being a dead Kree, and the symbiote is the one taking the front seat to the body.
Mm-hmm.
So then he helps the kids, gets entrapped by the Maker. He's like, there are no good symbiotes. And he's like, well, except
Right.
Eddie. I was like, dude, what? So he entraps him, and then the other four of the family of the offsprings. The kids are like, okay, we need to get the fuck out of here because the Maker is fucking crazy. So Dylan and Normie leave in Absolute Carnage 2, attack the Maker, miss, hit the containers holding the four of the family. So then they come up and then bond with the Maker as he's fighting them. So Maker symbiote is attacking them. They're off on the streets. And just as they're on the streets, the Avengers come to save the day. So in Absolute Carnage 3, they essentially save the day. You kind of get hints that there's something within Dylan because we know, not Dylan, we know Dylan is the offspring of Eddie. He's Eddie's son. There's hints that he has something of symbiote powers without ever being bonded. So it could be...
While Eddie was bonded.
Right. Well, while Eddie was bonded, he passed on
Something.
Right. Something.
An STD.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you could say
yeah,
about all
it's
these.
a good
And all
analogy.
the codexes could be considered that too.
An STD, yeah.
Oh, God.
So in Absolute Carnage 3, they're on the run, and Matt Gargan's on the run. Like, it's all this crazy disparate, Carnage symbiote attacks. And it's funny how, he's still, because it's still Cletus Cassidy, even though he's a fucking dead body. He's still, making, really raunchy jokes. And it's really funny. And he keeps, saying, come on, man. And, why you gotta run? But whatever. That's still fun, too. Yeah. And he's still ripping. Bro, this is a horror event. He's ripping spines.
He's
you
a
see
spine
it.
hunter?
Yeah, because that's what the codexes are. The codex is in the spine, the center of the spine of the human host. So the Avengers, they save the day in that corner with Dylan, Normie, and fighting up the symbiote Maker. So and then Eddie, after saving Gargan, but then losing Miles bonds. Miles loses that battle and bonds with Carnage. Gargan and Eddie escaped, Gargan is paralyzed because Carnage struck him in the spine, couldn't rip it out because Eddie saved him. So Gargan right now can't move. Gargan is Scorpion. He can't move his legs right now. So he meets back at the warehouse and he's like, oh fuck. And it's like all the Avengers. So you see but it's all the Avengers that have bonded with a symbiote. So you see Thing, Wolverine, Captain America, man, who was a female? I can't remember who was a female. I don't know why. And Bruce is there. But he's like, oh yeah, I've actually never bonded with the symbiote. Like, so don't worry, I'm just here for the science. Because he's Bruce, he's not Hulk.
Yeah.
So he's helping since Maker's out, out for the count. Fucking unconscious. No, he's unconscious since they fought him in symbiote form. So Bruce continues his work, but makes it safer to remove the codex from anyone who's ever bonded. So Cap goes in, Wolverine, everyone. I don't know how they got it from the Thing.
Honestly, Wolverine with adamantium bones.
I don't understand.
And the Thing as well. That's another one.
I don't get it. But at least from the panels, I don't know if they starts, but before something major happens, it's just Cap. So Cap for sure is down for the count. So then Eddie's there and he's talking to I believe it's Spidey because Spidey's the one that brought the Avengers, and Spidey's like guilt ridden. He doesn't know what we as readers know. He's like, it's my fault. I brought the symbiote here. This is my burden. This is not your fight. And then the Venom symbiote is talking to Eddie. He's like, tell him we've been here. Tell him that it's not his fault.
But Eddie still hates him.
And Eddie's like, yeah, you're right. We'll fight together. And Venom was like, why the fuck? Why won't you tell him? Don't let him feel guilty. And I guess like Eddie's like, I need the help to fight Carnage.
But even then, I think it's less about him wanting Peter to help. Because Peter is a hero; he's going to help.
Right. That's how I took it.
He wants the rage though. He wants
the fury of Peter Parker.
Yeah, he wants the guilty Peter Parker that'll do anything to stop it.
Yeah, that's how I took it by the end of this book, because Peter sees Eddie like tapping the glass of Cap because it takes like a couple of hours, whatever, and that's where we get the little bit of Bruce saying it's like, yeah, I've never bonded with the symbiotes or whatever. And then before you know it, and like they're talking, they're like, yeah, like, have you told Dylan yet? Before the shit, hits the fan and before we go off and fight, whatever, like, you should really tell him that, that you're his actual father. And then Eddie just smiles, and then you see Eddie actually come out from behind Peter, and he goes like, Peter, get away from him. And then you see like this like symbiote start like reforming, and it's actually Carnage. It's Cletus.
Took the shape of Eddie.
Yeah, it took the shape of Eddie. And then the topping of the glass did the spiral, and then it breaks the glass of where Cap is. So you don't know what happened to Cap.
If it finished or not, or what's going on.
So then previously, he's been trying to kill Norman. We all know since Absolute Carnage, the other Carnage, quote unquote, is Norman. Because he's confused since bonding and being Red Goblin. He thinks he's Cletus. So it's like, they're calling him like, other Carnage, like literally other Carnage. Eddie couldn't kill him when saving Scorpion. So Venom was like, if you don't do it, if you can't do it, we'll find someone that will. He goes, yeah, that's fine, whatever. So then when this attack happens, now present time, when this attack happens of fake Eddie is actually Carnage, the symbiote literally comes off Eddie. And Eddie's like, wait, what are you doing? Like, Carnage, he goes, yeah, we told you if you won't do it, we'll find someone that will. And it goes towards Peter, and in the panels you're reading, you're like, oh shit, it's going to rebound with Peter. It literally goes around Peter, and it bonds with Bruce. Bruce.
Yes.
Bruce. Carnage immediately attacks him, Bruce dies. So it's like, oh, well, that was, and I love it. Like, Carnage is like, well, that was anticlimactic. And he goes, and he's there about to like attack Eddie and Peter, and then he gets pulled away, and then like his jaw gets like symbioted, like dislocated, and it comes off. And then you see a venomized Hulk standing there, and that's like a giant splash page. It's the last page. And I was just like, oh, I'm in. I've been in, but I'm in.
Literally, the second you said, oh, Bruce is there, and he's like, I've never been bonded. And I'm like, damn, a bonded Hulk would be very scary. And then you say this, and I'm like, yeah, that sounds
Dude,
scary.
it's scary looking. It's Hulk, all hulked out, angry, green, and then you see veiny black in the eyes.
Also,
And then the venom, it's not enough to overcome his body. So you just see like spurts. Like it's just like a web. Imagine like a web on a body.
That's not enough symbiote to go around.
Yes.
I'm interested to see how long the symbiote can hang on to Hulk.
Yeah.
Because remember that the Hulk, whenever he's the Hulk, he gives off the gamma radiation. Gamma radiation's hot.
Right.
I'm interested to see.
Ooh, that'd be cool designs. Maybe in the next issue you see it like bubbling, and it's just like it maybe wants to.
Maybe
come
that's
off.
another reason why it's not completely covering him. Maybe it's not that he's not enough. It's that it's hot.
It could be, bro. But Absolute Carnage is amazing. It's an absolute banger of a book.
Man, that's a nice little twist.
I don't remember. I think Justin. I think you've read it. You've read one, or you've read both already, at least. Absolute Carnage.
1 and 2, yeah. I just didn't read the latest one.
Okay.
I was going to read it today, and then I got home too late.
Even though I've spoiled it, it's still worth the read.
Oh no, I was purposefully half listening so that it's not really spoiling it. Like I was listening, but I was like, don't ruin too much so I can read it. You know.
I was so excited with this book. That's why I was like, I really want to talk a lot about
That
it.
sounds really good, to be honest.
It's awesome. Absolute Carnage is amazing. Donnie, I'm telling you, the Donnieverse is fire.
Yeah, anything
right
he
now.
touches is starting.
gold.
We talked last week about Silver Surfer Black. Silver Surfer Black number 4 was.
It was amazing.
I remember it for. I read it for.
What was the other book I talked about last week? Oh, the King Thor. Did you read the King Thor?
Oh, so good.
No,
too.
actually.
King Thor's amazing.
King Thor was so good.
Because it's the God Butcher creative team is back.
Oh,
So it's Esad Ribic and Jason Aaron.
I'm just gonna give away one thing. At a certain point, well, you read the entire book, going, "How is this only the first issue?" Because there's a lot going on in this book. At a certain point, Loki, with the Necro Sword, cuts open Thor's gut, and Thor decides at another point in the book that the only way to kill Loki is to throw him into the sun. So he pulls his own intestine out, ties it to the hammer, ties it around Loki's neck, and throws the hammer into the sun with his intestine.
Fucking metal.
dude.
As that happened, I just in my head, I just played Cannibal Corpse in my head. Because it's so metal.
Fucking
And that is just
brutal.
and that is just one scene out of that entire book.
Yeah.
That is.
The last page is fucked up.
Yeah.
The last page you don't see coming.
Nope.
And then you get to the last page and you go, this is just the first issue.
I might go home and not play video games and just read.
You need to read that book.
Yeah.
Do you want to talk Superman? Or you want to
Yeah, my only other thing was Superman. My other pick was Superman 15, and I didn't want to talk about it until I finished the book, and I was like, okay, I kind of want to talk about what happened here. So I will give the spoiler, but it's because it's the best pitch. So we already, I can't remember if Justin, if you've read up to now of Superman.
I think I only have. I might be.
Yeah, so all of House of L, all the Thanagarians, and then 2 other alien races were like in like intergalactic battle, and then Rogozal appeared with everyone from the Phantom Zone, also fighting, and in the center is Jor-El, because he's somehow caused this clusterfuck of an intergalactic conflict. So then Superman gets there with Zod to kind of trying to neutralize the situation and whatnot. So it's this crazy fighting for issues on end. It finally ended last issue with the appearance of John and Supergirl to help in the fight in the ensuing battle, and to tell all the other alien races, including the Thanagarians, to stand down. Now in 15, why I want to bring it up, so Rogozal is arrested. He's arrested. He's on Thanagar, but also arrested is Jor-El. So the whole book is 2 parallels. It's Clark, it's Superman literally staring at the glass, looking at Rogozal. And the only one that comes to talk to him is Adam Strange. And they're talking about literally recapping what you've missed between 14 and 15. And it's the formation of the United Planets, of this Council of United Planets that was John Kent's idea. And then why the whole, for some fucking reason, time traveling, the Legion of Superheroes appeared from the 31st century, and they're like, we wanted to witness the moment of Unity Day, of the bringing about and the creation of the Council of United Planets. So like, sorry that we stepped on the moment, but just, continue. And so it's like weird comic relief in this really dramatic moment because Superman's not fucking laughing. He's watching and arrested, not killing, the fucking creature that supposedly destroyed his planet. And he's there literally shaking hands with Zod, who was a villain as well, and watching his father get arrested. So Superman's in a funk in Superman 15.
Yeah.
And Adam Strange is here telling him all this. And I love how Superman's like, okay, get to the point. What did you come here to tell me? And the main reason I want to talk about this book was, so the council, the cool thing is like, yeah, the Unity Day, this and that. John now might join the Legion of superheroes in the 31st century, but he's like, all right, let me go ask my mom, which is hysterical. Yeah. That's how it ends, which is hysterical.
Is he a teenager or a child?
He's teenage. He's still 17.
Oh, he's still 17?
He's still 17. He's like, I need to go talk to Damien. Which is funny. And the next time on says like, oh, the return of Super Sons. So I'm like, hey, that's cool. I kind of want to see that dynamic return and see what's changed now. So the spoiler thing of what's going on and what Adam Strange has been trying to tell Superman this whole time is the Council of the United Planets, whatever ridiculous name, have dubbed Jor-El is the cause of all this clusterfuck since he's been removed from the timeline. He's broken every law of the known universe, and they call it like he's broken laws of interstellar law, the laws of science, and the laws of even physics and time itself. He's like, he is dubbed a criminal, and Adam Strange is like, look, the ruling, I was not there, but I know what happened, what the ruling. And Superman's like, okay, spit it out, and that was like the whole book. So by the end of the book, you see the punishment get played out, and it's, to me, brutal, absolute brutal. Well, like, so the sentence was since he was a time anomaly and what caused all this crazy interstellar conflict, the sentence was put him back to the moment he arrived. Since he's aged here, it's been a while. So they put him back, and Superman's like, wait, so they're going to put him back at that time? And Adam's like, yeah, back on Krypton. And then Superman's like, before it explodes? And Adam's like, just as it explodes. So you see, so then there's like a page and a half or so of panels of Jor-El holding out this older Jor-El because he's been here for a while, just hidden for years until he, came out in the shadows in recent comics. Jor-El appears there and he's seeing himself hugging, oh my God, I can't remember the mother's name.
Lara,
Lara, just as the planet's exploding. And he's yelling to his younger self because he knows he's about to be teleported from some time anomaly. And he's telling himself, he does it. He unites the universe. And then the planet explodes and he dies. Wow. Now as an old man.
And then the younger one gets...
And you see in the explosion, it's a huge panel. So it's a splash page. And you see this like little time, like
Zeta beam.
Yeah, like beaming younger Jor-El at that moment, beaming him away. And then the council even says, like, we don't know what caused it. Jor-El doesn't know. And he's like, we will further investigate, but that's your sentence. You're going back to your time before you came to this time.
That is an absolute brutal punishment. That's worse than being in the
So then everyone has celebrated Unity Day and the celebration of the creation of this council of, this like literal UN's, United Nations, but like
planets.
And John is like, Dad, you want to go home? And he goes, let's get the fuck out of here.
Actually says that. No.
No, of course not, but you both.
That'd be awesome.
I've never seen, I've not read a whole lot of Superman. I've never read one where he is angry and absolutely devastated in this whole issue. He doesn't smile once because there's nothing to smile at. And I thought it was a brutal fucking book.
It's crazy so far.
Besides the comic relief for the other guys.
So essentially for the continuing forward, every Unity Day is just a reminder of that moment that happened.
Yeah, the sentence where they sentence his father to die. And it's crazy because the Unity Day and the United Planets thing was his son's idea.
Concept, yeah.
And then it's a victory because of Superman. And then it was a bonding day between him and the Zods. Zods, the council also deemed the Zods to be the heads of a new Krypton outpost. That will eventually be the creation of a new Krypton. And then I think it's Kara. She's like, what are you going to do? Have a bunch of babies?
And
And Zod just goes, "I will do what's best for the future of our people." And that's it. And I love how it ends with like they shake hands, and I'm like, wow,
Well,
cool. It
they
gives
became
me
brothers in arms.
right.
You know?
It gives me reminiscence of the X-Men book that we will talk about now.
Oh, that book.
I might have the wrong the name. Was it Powers Effects number 5?
Yeah, it's Powers.
Yeah,
no, it's
No,
House.
House
It's
Effects
House.
number 5. Yeah.
House number 5.
It's House.
Okay.
Powers came up. Powers 5 is today.
Okay.
House Effects number 5.
I'll fix it.
A red issue.
So a red issue. Gotta admit, not as red. Not as come on. The last red issue was pretty revealing.
Well, I mean, there's only 3 red issues. You can't have them all that crazy.
I think this red issue is just because we were already theorizing.
Yeah, I will admit. The Apocalypse showing up and shaking hands with Xavier was pretty fucking.
I love that it was a splash page.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I love how it's gone the covers are. But what he said, the way he kind of like plays allegiance to mutant kind.
yeah.
And he's like, "You've achieved everything I wanted to." He
Yeah.
humbled himself.
Yeah, and he tells Wolverine, he's like, "Why would I do anything? This is all I've wanted for us."
I've been pushing mutants to evolve to become this,
That's
and
all.
you've done it.
It was beautiful.
But the revelation that all the mutants can be reborn was crazy.
Yeah. And I love how, like, bro, like,
The explanation of the first page.
Yeah, they over-explain it. They go into every
Loved it.
detail of the part of the process.
And they give you
The 5.
pages afterwards explaining things about their life and everything. Yeah, the 5.
How Hope has to be there to bring them all together.
Synergize.
Yeah, Proteus always has to have a body because he can always burn out his body within a day, and it's always an Xavier
Yeah.
that he takes
That's
over.
to me, that little tidbit, I'm like, what?
Yeah,
How are
So
we
he
just
takes everybody.
breezing past that? That's fucking crazy.
and then you have. But the one I thought was interesting was Gold Balls.
The most comic relief character.
Well, the idea that he creates gold balls, nobody knew what they did until somebody figured out that they could be turned into eggs.
No, that they were just organic.
Yeah,
Organic.
and then the one Proteus changes them.
Yeah, to make them into viable organic eggs.
Yeah,
Well, they're eggs to begin with, but they're not viable. Proteus makes
Right.
them viable.
and
Right.
he can create as many as he needs. It's unlimited.
Yeah.
There's no limit. And the idea that they create all these husks for all the mutants, and then Xavier has to have Xavier's essentially the mutant iCloud.
Yeah.
Yes. Why iCloud? Dang, man.
xCloud.
The
He's
cloud.
the xCloud. What about xCloud?
He's the xCloud. He's basically the mutant cloud because he downloads every week all mutants on the planet.
To multiple backup cradles
Yeah.
all around the world. I was like, yes, this is genius.
Now to get off this a little bit? I read something this week. Have you guys read the theory about it might not be Xavier in that it might be Moira?
Cool.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
I mean,
I read some other ones.
I mean, I don't know.
Well, somebody said it could be Cassandra.
You've seen her next to him, though.
Have you? Aside from the first issue or the second issue?
With the helmet on?
Him with the helmet on? We have not seen more in the present day.
Yeah. Everybody's wondering where she's at in this world.
But he has telekinetic powers.
Could be mimicked by the
Xavier doesn't have telekinetic
I mean, not
powers.
telekinetic, telepathy.
Telepathy.
Yeah, but exactly. But Moira doesn't. How could she be mimicking that?
Don't know. It's just a theory.
Well, the book does go out of its way to explain that in this crazy process of mutant resurrection, that they've never experimented a different mutant mind to a different mutant husk.
Yeah.
They were swapped.
So they could explain that this Xavier could be that Moira's personality in Xavier's body with Xavier's powers.
Here's what I want to know. Here, and this is the geek in me. This is my first thought. All the X-Men that died in space were brought back to life.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, and which I thought was really funny, they were all trotted out naked in front of the entire mutant world. They're all mutants.
Yo, that got really culty when they were all like, "What is she? Mutant?" And I was like, "Yo, okay." They did it for all 5 or 6 of
No, it
them?
was like 6 or 8.
Yeah.
Dude, and I was like, "Well, this is getting really culty."
Here's my geekiness. They resurrected Wolverine.
Yeah, I thought the same thing.
Wolverine.
Can't die.
Well, no.
No.
It's not that. It's
He died.
adamantium. it's not part of his DNA.
Right.
True.
You
Yeah, I
know,
think
are
they
they
need that.
resurrecting and that they're doing it from blood? It's not like they're doing it from like a copy. And,
That's not even blood. It's just like Sinister's DNA database.
yeah,
Well, remember,
but are they
I,
regrowing them with the adamantium? I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Bro, Proteus does warp reality.
Yeah,
okay, well, there you
Proteus
go.
was
That would be a good explanation.
I was gonna go with that. That was gonna be my answer for it.
But no,
It's
that
like being an egg for Wolverine. It's gonna be more work than everybody else.
Yeah, because
Stupid adamantium.
right, because they have to grow until they reach that age.
well,
and it's
no,
like,
you have the one
okay.
that changes time.
It
Yeah.
still takes hours.
Right, it still takes hours.
Because in
So I'm
the-
assuming someone who's 15 versus someone who's like what, like almost 200 fucking years old.
Yeah.
Yeah, those hours it's still different.
Well, in the info panels, because you know I love reading those things and
Yeah.
dissecting them. They actually put a lot of rules in place into how they do it and when they do it. They age them to like peak.
Mm-hmm.
So Wolverine isn't 200. He's
His
30.
peak.
he's 20, 30.
He's not. He's like maybe 50.
Yeah.
No. Wolverine at peak point of his.
But this
powers.
also explains how Wolverine could still be alive and viable in the Age of Apocalypse future.
Yeah.
Right.
If they're still using that method in that timeline.
Well then,
I mean, either that or just
Well, no,
Apocalypse give him,
remember, no, that this is not that same timeline. That other one is the
Timeline.
Age of Apocalypse timeline.
That's true.
which is timeline. I forget which number that was. 5.
Nine.
It was nine.
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 Nine,
It was
okay.
nine.
Yeah,
right.
but
So that's why everyone thinks the one we're watching now or reading now is 10.
it's 10. Okay, yeah, but everyone still says it. What's going on with 6? Life number 6.
I don't know,
Still
man.
don't know.
And we
Dude,
only
there's-
have 3
there-
issues left.
There's still no theories. I find that so fascinating where the internet community of any fandom has no theory on
Because
something.
Hickman has literally given us everything you could possibly give us. I was thinking it has something to do with Sinister, but Sinister's already been dealt with.
What if this is 6?
That's one thing I was thinking. What if we're watching 6 and this isn't the new
And
one yet?
Lifetime 10 that we're watching is actually the Dawn of X-Men, the one that we're
Yeah.
getting ready to go into.
Is the next one that he's going to be writing.
Which throws out my theory completely, but still.
No, because they know when the mother mode comes on.
Which
True.
was after 9.
Yeah, you got a point. Never mind.
Yeah, or maybe 6 is going to be the one he's going to write.
Well, we don't know. No, in 9 it was to find out when Nimrod gained sentience.
Right.
And
Right, and
Nimrod,
Xavier in House, in House of X, he explains, he's like, we believe this is what leads to Nimrod.
Oh, okay.
yeah, it's AI sentience is like fire, it's just waiting for it to happen.
Yeah.
And Mother Mold becoming online is which, man, who else had a heartbreak watching that fight to destroy it?
Yeah, we talked about it
Yeah.
last week. Yeah.
God.
But then again, it kind of negates everything this week by the fact that they're just all reborn.
Xavier still cries, a piece of me dies every time one of
Yeah,
you dies.
that's true.
And I was like, that is
But it
so
does
quiet.
explain that first, the To Me, My X-Men, the first
Yeah.
scene in the first book,
Well, I mean, that was and Kevin mentioned it, he's like, this is a theory that we have from the beginning.
It's true.
That's
Everyone,
being reborn.
that was online thing since like the second or third book. Everyone's like, what if this is them resurrecting?
Who else is super upset that Scott does not get his little issue fixed?
Oh, like uncontrollable.
Uncontrollable optic beams?
Yeah.
It's like, dude, you're regrowing him. Just fix that part of the brain.
I
Come
mean,
on, bro.
it could be explained
Yeah,
of
but
like, that's like a thing of
it's-
psychology of like a flaw in your character.
It's psychosomatic.
No, it was an injury.
No, I know it's an injury, but maybe for him, it's become
After so many-
Yeah, it's become psychosomatic. It's become something that's
Oh, dude,
ingrained
that's
in
deep.
his.
I like that.
It's become something that he can't function without it because it's become part of him.
It's like
Right.
a cane.
Right,
You're like
it's who he is, who he thinks he is. It's psychology. It's who he thinks he is, so he thinks that
there
there's
could
something
be a
wrong.
scene later on that somebody could draw or write and go, you don't need this visor, right? You could do this without,
Right.
you don't need this. This is just in your head. You've been regrown so many times that flaw has been gone forever.
I want to see that scene in between like him and Jean or him and
That could be a really cool
That'd be
final
great.
scene between like a last stand scene where they're like, look, Scott, we need you to unleash your power. And the fact that the Ruby Quartz has always kind of held back his ability. The fact that they're like, look, you need to pull that thing off. We need all of your abilities. Like, but if I pull this off, I can't control it. It's like, well, you can control it, right? You know that you've been, like I said, and that could be the final.
maybe Jean has a little bit of telepathy, kind of like in,
Well, they've done that before where Jean has actually suppressed his ability so
No.
she could look at him.
but not suppressed. Like just work with him in his head.
Yeah.
To overcome the what does he call it?
Psychosomatic.
Yeah, it's a great term.
I'm sure there'll be something that even Hickman would do because
I'm sure
remember
of it.
mainland X book that's coming up.
This is X-Men.
It's all Summers family.
Well, not all.
Well, it's
Okay.
a Summers and Wolverine.
But most
And Wolverine.
right, of course, because he has to be in all the fucking X-Men books.
Hey,
But it's most Summers. I have a feeling this is going to be Maury and Summer family drama, and that will be brought up.
yeah, well, I mean, hopefully it gets addressed earlier, but I think that'll be a really cool, touching moment now that we've come to that conclusion.
Hmm.
But, I mean, it was a hell of a book.
Joe, you're being surprisingly quiet.
And
No, because you guys are. And I didn't read.
how do you feel? Oh, okay. That's why.
So we ruined it.
No,
Well, not ruined it
I
because
like it. That's fine.
we know you're going to read it anyways.
I read 5 today. Powers.
These are some of
Powers.
But you didn't read the one before it, though?
Wait,
I
what?
just read today's.
Jesus.
You're killing me.
I know.
Killing
Well, I mean, basically the gist is you see that they can all
No,
be
they-
reborn.
Right.
And they explained it
I
in
knew
detail.
that.
Yeah, and then the other thing was that you see them all having a moment on Krakoa, and then basically every villain you know of comes to Krakoa. They invite them all in, and then the last one to come through the portal is Apocalypse, and you're like, what the fuck? And then Apocalypse has a conversation where he's, like, look, and like he said, Wolverine's like, don't start no shit.
Yeah.
And Apocalypse is like, why would I?
Yeah, he's
Wolverine even told Xavier, he's like, are you sure you want to do this? And Xavier's like,
But,
give him a chance.
Yeah,
Talk
he's
about
like, good or bad, this is a new start for all of us.
But talk about a scene that's iconic is the
Oh,
last
yeah, yeah.
where it's Apocalypse and Xavier shaking hands.
It's a beautiful scene, to be
Wait
honest.
until you see who they go to with it today.
Well, Sinister's on the cover.
No, I don't go to Sarah.
Cool.
One thing we did glance over, well, you didn't even speak, is the whole thing from them being reborn is told from the point of Magneto and Lorna being together.
Mm.
And he's like,
I love that
And he
there's a
calls
reason
her
why this
daughter.
is being explained.
yeah. And he calls it, it's like this family moment, and she's like not sure about things.
Yeah, she's like, but it's not them. It's not them. It's not the same them.
Yeah.
And he's like, yes. And then the explanation of like the whole
five.
X-Men iCloud.
Yeah, the X-Men iCloud, the 5 that work together to synergize, who have become bonded, who even are together.
And she's like,
outside of work.
but they're just empty husks. What about their powers? And I love how like all of that's explained.
Yeah.
Everything's explained.
I love it. It's a father speaking to his daughter to help her understand. It was a touching moment. I that was kind of like pushed to the side.
Well, I do like that of like, it's like, the husk is from their DNA. And our powers were mutants. It's in our genetic DNA.
And yeah, then our consciousness, it's getting back up. But in the beginning of the book, when Xavier's like, hey, look, we need to help them while they're on their mission. We're going to have about 8 minutes of lag. But I'm going to connect all of our mind together with the cuckoo so that way we can all function as one entity.
Yeah.
So we can have to rationalize, to do this, to do that. And I was like, dang, that's some hardcore fucking power.
I love how the book goes out of its way to explain how those 5 mutants that are part of the mutant resurrection process, that they've gotten, that they've bonded, that they've grown close as
They
friends.
live together.
They're like praised amongst the Krakoans community
Not-
as like
Not famous, but with reverence.
I'm like,
Now,
oh,
one
that's
of the-
cool.
One of the things we glossed over too is the fact that they got they got not their citizenship. What is it? Their own
Oh, yeah,
content,
their
their own
own
country,
nation.
their own
Yes,
nation.
they
Did get the approval
Krakoa
for
is a
that
nation.
because they talked about how Xavier showed up to the vote, and then he's talking to Emma Frost, and he's like, "I have a feeling you helped push people in certain directions."
The beginning starts like that.
Yeah, and then there's also a breakdown of all the countries that have accepted and who've rejected
And why?
and why they rejected the help of mutants.
I love it. Ideological,
Yeah.
religious, political.
But who
Like
was the red?
Iran, all the Arab nations was all political. It was all
It was
political.
mostly ideological.
It was both.
Ideology.
Yeah, it was both.
There were a couple of religious ones, a lot of political, but
Yeah.
there was one.
The
country
China
that-
was the political one, I think.
yeah, because they're
Yeah.
not taking it from anyone. But Wakanda was in red.
Oh, I like the Wakanda one. Don't need mutant drugs.
I love it.
And I was just like, bruh,
And every other African nation is just like Wakandan protectorate.
yeah.
And I'm like, that's hysterical.
But
man.
I was just like, dude, I figured Wakanda would be like more accepting of different people and their own and they're all becoming their own country.
Well, no, because they've always been dependent.
Right.
Like, we take care of our own.
Right.
We don't need outsider help.
Remember, for a long
Remember,
time, they were
it's-
hidden from the world.
Exactly, but it's not just about, but they were recognized after they came out as their own country.
Yeah, but they're still kind of xenophobic in the fact that they kind of keep to themselves.
But that's what I'm trying to say. It's like they went through that hardship of trying to get their own country. Why not respect someone else getting their own country?
Well, they're not actively moving against it. They're just not taking what they're giving them.
No, it's that they weren't a part of the treaty. The drugs were a part of the treaty, but just recognize, you don't have to take the drugs, you gotta just recognize them as well. And it's kind of like they abstained.
Yeah. So that was the other thing that happened in that book. But this book just, I mean, this
They
book
broke
just
down the deaths.
Yeah.
There was a lot of breakdown for the Genosha, and they broke down
Well,
how long it would take to resurrect everyone who was killed in Genosha.
But it also hinted that that's what they're doing. Is they're rebuilt?
Yeah,
resurrecting everyone.
That's the goal. He wants to bring back all mutants.
Yeah.
But the reason was not given. The end plan.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, oh, fuck. But then you see, like, in the Powers books that, you know, what their goal is and what they're trying to do and taking over shit.
Well, you also have the, you know, where he went to Sinister and I told Sinister, you need to have a backup of everyone.
Yeah. But
another thing that I love that they went over, and it was mostly the Magneto side of talking with Polaris. He gets up and talks to Xavier he's like, yeah, this is all nice and fine and dandy, but we will never get back to the Genosha era. Because that was like 10 million mutants or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was,
and I love how like the infographic breaks down of like they would have to do like 100 or something a day of resurrections.
300 resurrections.
No, it was. But the thing is, they were limited by how fast they could do it and how many
and how much of a toll it takes on Xavier.
Yeah, it was a bunch of math and calculations.
And Xavier doesn't have all those Genosian deaths, all those Genosian mutant, backups.
No, I think they made it seem like Cerebro was doing backups before he even realized it was doing backups.
No,
because that was also another retcon. It was a retcon for Cerebro. It was the idea that because even Magneto, when he's explaining it to Lorna, he's like, "Well, everybody just assumed that Cerebro could find any mutant on a planet. That's not his only. Cerebro's only
its secondary function.
Secondary function was to back up every mutant.
Yeah, so he does have that information. He has their last backup.
Even before, yeah,
because Cerebro was doing it in the background. The thing is the toll it takes on him. And
it takes a toll on him and the Five.
And
the Five are just getting better.
Yeah, but except for Proteus. Remember, the more Proteus uses it, he burns out his husk.
Oh, you make one extra husk for you and one for everybody else?
Yeah, because God forbid they reach double digits. Proteus is already dying out. They need a new Proteus husk.
Multiple. They're saying every day.
Right. Yeah, they're saying every day. I mean, that could get down to hours.
Yeah.
You know?
Dude, that's crazy.
Well, remember, the infographics specifies it will take them 100 years
at the curve
just to get to everyone that died at Genosha back.
Genosha and from other crimes, and which were all smaller, but Genosha was what? I think it was like 6 million.
Yeah, it was the most. I think it was. I could have sworn it was 10 million.
Or 10.
It was the most.
That's ridiculous.
It was the most. The biggest massacre.
Oh, and then they have they had a list of humans who had done great tragedies to mutants, and Wanda Maximoff was on there.
But that was a previous book.
I know, yeah,
but I love how they dubbed her like Wanda Maximoff, the Pretender.
Yes, and I was like,
and it's like they're like it's the greatest threat of mutant kind of
she's the greatest
depowering and just decimating the mutant.
That's another thing they went over in this book: how to repower mutants. They're like, we haven't done that.
Yeah,
repowering them. I'm like, damn, that's another.
It's true. Yes, they did talk about like the ones that were depowered after House of M and in the
how to get them repowered.
Right. It's like how do we approach them? Because they don't want, and I like how they go over like a policy of like only upon confirmation of death does the resurrection process begin.
Yeah, because you can have two.
And then I love how they started creating like laws of like, okay, if someone is missing for more than a month, an investigation will then go through, be confirmed, this and that, and I'm like, wow, like that's
you
crazy.
You have to put these policies into place.
It's good because they don't want more than one of any person walking around.
But they did have a little short section about two particular mutants, Mimic and what was the other mutant they put on there? That using their powers could help in assistance of the Five and everything like that.
Yes, because Mimic can mimic powers.
And someone else I heard they put in there.
Mimic and Sync. She's a Generation X.
Yeah.
When he gets near a mutant, he can sync with them and do the same things they can. That's why he's called Sync.
It'd be cool to sync with Hope Summers with her synergizing.
This book goes more into Cerebro. You guys will see.
The Powers. Powers 5.
What you guys are saying, I'm like, oh, okay. Yeah.
Cool, so Powers 5.
Yeah.
I gotta read that like tonight.
Yeah, that's
you don't
my
have to read
idea.
it tonight, but
I'm just these X-Men books have been so
I
good.
get you.
I just want more content.
Me too. I've been reading them almost same day. All of them.
As soon as I get them.
I lag a little bit, but mainly because I want to read it just before the podcast.
I lag a little bit.
I lag a little bit.
So,
They're like,
moving out of comics now. Well, we're gonna get I just want to mention one thing from TV. I read it today. I thought it was interesting because I was actually kind of looking forward to this. They were going to do a Ghost Rider series at Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
The Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider.
Robbie Reyes Ghost Rider. That is no longer moving forward. They're not going to do that
At Hulu.
at Hulu.
We don't know if that's moving somewhere else.
Yeah, but there's been no talk of it going to Disney Plus or anything else. It's just been they've reached an impasse, a creative impasse, and they decided not to do it.
That's because the rumor, because I've been reading the rumors on Twitter, the rumor is that Kevin Feige does in fact want to do Ghost Rider Johnny Blaze as a movie.
Again?
yeah, we've done 2 already.
Well, it's not
Neither one of them
we.
are any good.
Well,
I mean, we consume the content. And by consuming the content, we got to see.
As long as it's not Nicolas Cage, I think we'd be okay.
No, it has to be Nicolas Cage. What are you talking about? That's the one and only Johnny Blaze.
So yeah, so that sucks because I liked, because it was going to be the Gabriel Luna Robbie Reyes from Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And he was awesome.
Yeah,
He was
like
great.
the one good thing about Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. was his little arc on that.
I don't watch it.
No, I watched a lot of it now, and I still agree with Justin. Yeah, that was the best.
Well, they actually did him justice.
Yeah.
They gave him the charger. He actually face melted away into a flaming skull.
They gave him the comic book origin,
Yeah.
the same one.
So
Demon
that was
Prince
just
Park.
that was the only thing in the TV news that I really wanted to
And
mention.
I did like that one line from Coulson. He's like, "You're not the first Ghost Rider I've had to deal with," and everyone's like, "Oh shit, cool," because we know it's like, "Oh shit, Johnny Blaze."
Yeah.
So
And another ones before him.
moving on to movies, we have Movie Pass finally died.
Thank God.
About time.
So
After changing people's passwords about their knowledge, limiting to only certain movies.
Taking the terms of agreement, yeah.
Fuck.
how many people did you have it?
I had it, but originally,
Did you scam it?
I had it back when it was $10.
I knew I don't know this person, but somebody I know knows. It's like a friend of a friend, but he told me that he scammed the Movie Pass in that, you know, whenever you bought a movie, they would just load the credit card up with like $15,
Right.
and he would do that, and then he would use the $15 to go like for parking or for whatever. It didn't matter, like for food, or he would he basically got. Because it was
He's
also
the reason that Movie Pass died.
yeah, it was also a movie a day too, so it was like every day he had
$15
$15 to go and
That's
I didn't even think of that. It's a MasterCard, right? It is.
yeah.
Yeah.
Ah.
that's literally just very poor
It's
planning and
$10
execution.
No, that's lunch.
Yeah, I mean that's more than lunch.
So
That's a good-
Depending on the movie.
Nah, Disney World.
That's an IMAX movie.
Yeah. Well, that's why the Movie Pass didn't cover that.
Yeah, that's
Movie Pass
actually-
never covered IMAX?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, then there you go.
Or 3D.
So next thing up on the news for movies is we have new Mortal Kombat movie, and we've got casting.
Cast looks great.
It does.
I don't really care for that one.
Oh,
The Jax one?
Yeah.
I like it because he's got the voice and the physique. I mean,
And he can bulk up if he wants to.
Right. What more is in the Jax character?
But if you go by lore, Jax was in part 2, not part 1.
I
I'm joking.
like Shin-Han as Shang
Oh,
Tsung.
yeah.
I think that's great. I love Hiroyuki Sanada as
Fuck,
Scorpion.
yes.
That just made my day.
But what's weird is I thought Sonata would have been a Sang-Chun.
Yeah.
Like a switch.
But
Yeah.
I'm perfectly okay with it being
But I like because they're doing the mainline origin of Scorpion where he's like ages
Yeah.
old and undead and
Right.
Yeah,
shit.
he's an
Right.
undead master ninja.
Hellbound Ninja Hanzo Hasashi.
I love
And then
it.
you have I'm not even going to pronounce this name as Raiden. He was Hogan in Thor.
Yeah, the part of the Warriors 3
Yeah.
in Thor.
And then you have Sissy Stringer as Melina.
Yeah, I saw that one.
And you have Ludi Lin
Thank
as
God.
Liu Kang.
That's
Yeah.
me and George's boy from Power Rangers.
Yep.
And Joe Talsim as Sub-Zero.
Yes. Yes, from the Raid.
Yeah,
that's my
I thought it was a
boy.
great choice.
That's my boy. That dude is in all those films. Those Indonesian bastards are.
You know what's gonna happen.
So good.
We're gonna have a Sub-Zero Scorpion fight, and they're gonna go off.
I hope it's just as long as like those Raid fights, like 20 minutes of just pure brutality,
Carnage,
and then ends in a
20
fatality.
minutes of fighting.
Dude, what the Raid movies and all those other movies?
Joe, have you not seen one of those
No, I've
movies?
seen Raid,
Oh,
but
okay. It's just a straight fight scene.
I'm saying it doesn't
You
feel
have
like
that same gang, like all those stunt guys and actors do like a slew of martial arts movies.
No.
So it's like Raid 2, Headshot, The Night Comes for Us, and I think there's a fifth one. They're all banger. They're all so good.
Josh Lawson, Australian, as Kano.
I'm not familiar with him.
No, I'm not either.
Hey, but it's cool. Kano,
But they
keeping him
haven't put out
Australian.
who's Liu Kang, right? They haven't put out who's
No.
Liu Kang.
Yeah,
Okay, yeah, they have.
Ludi Lu.
The Power Ranger.
Oh, I think it was someone else. No, whatever.
No, the Power Ranger. And people want him now as like Namor in the MCU.
Jessica McNamee is another Aussie as Sonya.
I thought they were getting out Australian actors and actresses.
And then we have Louis Tan in an undisclosed role. Don't know. And then Max Huang as Kung Lao.
Kung Lao.
Cool. The ones we're missing are Cage, Johnny Cage.
Yeah, Johnny Cage.
I thought he was
Are we really missing Johnny Cage?
Yes.
Do we need Johnny
Yes.
Cage?
You always need Johnny Cage.
Fuck
And you know what you really need in a Mortal Kombat reboot? Is that theme song. Just saying.
Jesus.
Mm.
It has to come up. Like, just have it on a boombox put in the corner.
Hopefully it's more metal than EDM.
Why? Is metal more popular?
No.
He just wants to be.
Yeah.
I just want it to be metal.
There'll be metal covers.
True.
So the next bit of news came out, I think, either today or yesterday. We've got the original 3 coming back for Jurassic World 3. We've got Sam Neill, Laura Dern, and Jeff Goldblum all coming back, reprising their roles from Jurassic Park.
I have to give Precipice. I don't give a fuck because I've hated the Jurassic World franchise. Then again, the sequels to Jurassic Park weren't that great either.
Mm-hmm.
But that short is amazing.
That short is really good.
And
Is it short?
You ever watched the
Yeah.
short?
I don't know if it's a short.
yeah,
Oh.
Colin Trevorrow, who did the Jurassic World 1, the first Jurassic World, came back.
Battle for something creek, I think, or something like that. Canyon.
Battle something rock.
like Rock Canyon or something.
Something like that, Creek Rock.
Interesting.
It's just a family
It's like
and an
8
RV
minutes.
vacation, and then
It's like
the dinosaurs mayhem ensues.
Yeah.
But what's heavily implied by the short is that
Battle at Big Rock.
they're no longer Battle at Big Rock. Dinosaurs are no longer secular to just an island. They're actually everywhere.
Yeah,
Yeah. After part 2.
right, because George saw part 2.
Yeah.
Explain the ending.
It's
Not
like
too much.
It's like Walking Dead.
Ending. All the dinosaurs are on U.S. grounds and they get released.
There, that's it. So that explains this.
Yeah.
This thing is like an intermediary between 2 and
Okay, so
3,
Walking
and
Dead.
supposedly 3 will be almost near post-apocalyptic of dinosaurs roaming the fucking countryside.
Yeah.
Well, no,
That's
I got
awesome.
well, maybe I guess because they're all in. Well, no, I didn't get the idea that it was post-apocalyptic.
No. It's just that's the idea of fans.
That the
That we're
dinosaurs
not-
have kind of been integrated into
Our life.
natural society.
Depending on when the next sequel takes place, whether it's 5 minutes after part
Seems like
2
we're on the run.
or 5-10 years
It
after.
seems like we're on the run. Like humans are on the run.
Well, yeah, because
Really?
dinosaurs are apex
But
predators.
they seem to be camping like it was no big deal.
Right.
It seems like they're camping because we gotta get
Right, because
No,
maybe
but
to
they
George's
do.
point, maybe the camping that's like 5 minutes after the release of,
Maybe.
of the dinosaurs.
And
But
yeah,
no,
But I
but-
want Mad Max style. Give me Jurassic World, literal
like
world,
Walking Dead.
Mad Max. No, I want Mad Max fucking havoc. I want
you want like
humans on a run.
20 years later.
Yes.
After the short is over, they show little bits and pieces of like the world, how like these kids are being chased by little
Yeah,
like, dinosaurs,
yeah.
and like
It's
guys
good.
driving down the road, and then a dinosaur steps onto the road and he flies off the side of the cliff because that's where
You know what's funny?
The one I liked was
The pterodactyl?
the pterodactyl.
The pterodactyl.
They're releasing doves at a wedding, and just as they release the dove, pterodactyl swoop in. and-
That's priceless. No, but I was thinking like how the nerdy kids who like dinosaurs when they're little are like made fun of. But in this world, those kids are the best people to be around.
Right, because they know.
Because they know,
Yeah.
don't go around that one.
Yeah, the
Well,
parents
even
didn't
in-
know shit. The kid was rallying.
Yeah, even in the
Right.
short, it's like the youngest girl. She's the one telling them all. No, this one's a carnivore. This one's an herbivore.
Right.
We should be
The parents
scared.
know shit. Oh shit! What is this? No. This one's good.
Oh, that's great. I have a few friends who are like that.
And then, so I'm. You know what? First Jurassic World, decent, not terrible, not good,
I'm with you.
not terrible. I like Pratt. Thought Pratt was good in the movie.
Yeah.
I did like the return of the Tyrannosaurus kind of saving the day. I did dig that little thing. Never saw Jurassic World 2. Never felt the need to.
Don't do it.
But I will say, I do like the idea of these three coming back.
Yeah,
I'd
me
like
too.
to see what kind of role they're going to play.
Well, they said big role. They said they're
Well, no, I just want to know. But is Pratt coming back? I mean,
I put.
He is a big household
he's
name,
a big
so they
part of
have
it.
to.
You know, he's
Yeah,
the one
He
that
has to.
You know what? He's probably negotiating that contract.
Oh yeah.
That's why they haven't mentioned whether he is or isn't. It's their negotiation.
He's probably like stipulating. He's like, I want to ride a T-Rex.
I want to.
Optimus Prime did it. I wanted.
I want to fuck.
Oh god! Optimus Prime did it for 5 seconds.
I want to fuck a raptor. That's what I want.
God damn!
He
There's your
basically
ti-
did the first.
There's
one.
your title right there.
I want to fuck a raptor, Justin.
Tell me if you saw Chris Pratt fucking a raptor in the third movie, you wouldn't be like, all right, well, I guess I saw
And
that.
like
Yeah.
Tito will be all over it. But
Well, here's a question. If you are thinking about, for you, Justin, primarily, if you're thinking about seeing this part 3 because the big three are back and everything, does that mean you're going to watch part 2? Do I get to have a review?
No, you get from 1 and you see the short. You're
Tell
good.
you what,
No.
if you want,
There's info.
if you want my hate-filled review, I'll watch it.
Yes,
Okay.
that's exactly what I'm looking for.
I'll do that. I'll actually join Justin on that. That
Yes,
sounds like
me too.
fun.
Perfect. I went to this movie with a Jurassic Park fan,
Yeah.
and we walked out like, what the fuck?
wow.
Ew.
I was calling things left and right.
I mean, that's how I was with the first Jurassic World.
Oh yeah, the first one I was just like,
No, but like really, really, really bad.
So
Well,
you
like,
walked out like me.
even in
out
the
of Justice
trailer.
League.
even
I
in
saw the whole thing.
even in the trailer, I was watching the trailer for the first Jurassic World, and as soon as you saw the giant fish dinosaur, I was like, $20 says that thing saves the day. I was calling it, and then it's like it happens, and that's when we watched the movie, I'm like, called it.
That's why they showed it.
I just remember I was just like, is there anything these kids can't do?
Right.
The kids were just figuring out every situation. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then I was like, the original park is just in the middle of the new one? It didn't tear it down? I'm like, that's just fucking stupid.
Hey,
So
man,
what park does that?
Do you want to go back to like raptor infested areas right now?
Now, hang on a second.
There are plenty of parks that don't get torn down.
Hang on a
Christ.
second. Disney, for the longest time, did not tear it. It's only recently that they've torn down River Country. River
Bro.
Country was there for
Oh, that's right. You
20
could see
years.
It. You could see it.
They were
Fucking
urban
adding-
explorers. That
Fucking
was,
adding logic to a franchise about dinosaurs.
Hey, I'm one of those guys that reads those like, 10 decimated parks that, no one's been to in 50 years. I read those articles and see the pictures and stuff.
the urban explorers on YouTube. I watch that show
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. That's fucking great.
There's so many theme parks or carnivals
You know how
and stuff.
many-
They're just there.
You know how many abandoned homes there are in this world that still have everything in them?
It's sad.
And
It's
then people just go in or just like, look at this place. They must have left in a hurry.
there,
Like
there,
Chernobyl.
there are military bases that like they have all the houses there that are no longer in use with all those houses still fully furnished. And like, yeah, it's overgrown, but you're like, that's still a good house. Why would we take care of like the homeless military people?
No, we can't do that. It's too hard. You
That
want
would
them
make
to
too much
think?
sense.
Yeah.
Logic. My bad.
You
Sorry.
want
guys.
those old guys to think?
I just want Mad Max Dino Fury. Just give me that.
Dino Fury wasn't
You
that a Power
want,
Rangers?
you know
one?
what? You need to watch. Here's
It
the
was.
That was a Power Rangers title.
It
It was Power Rangers Dino Fury.
Really?
Yes.
I was just using Fury Road, but I'm like, Dino
I'm
Road
gonna-
wouldn't make any sense.
I'm gonna blow his mind right now. There was actually a cartoon, and you're this is bad. There was actually a
I know
cartoon
where you're going with this.
called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Cadillacs and dinosaurs?
Yes, and it was a post-apocalyptic world with dinosaurs.
Cool. It won. It won the internet for me.
What is this? What is this from?
It was an '80s cartoon. It was
Yeah,
called
it was-
Cadillacs.
it
and
would be
Dinosaurs.
Was it on before or after The Hobbit?
Oh.
The Hobbit cartoon is another one of those cartoons
With
like
the
this
Ralph
was made-
Bakshi?
Yeah.
What is this?
I actually remember that one too.
Me and my friends watched it before the Hobbit release, which I think it was better than the Hobbit itself. But besides the point.
Next on movies.
Next in movies is we have Jeffrey Wright and Jonah Hill rumored to be cast in the next Batman movie. Jeffrey Wright up for Jim Gordon. Jonah Hill,
A toss-up.
toss-up between Riddler and Penguin.
Or both.
Or
Yeah, I read that he's both.
Whatever.
I read that he wants more money than Rob Patz.
Yeah, he wants 10, and Pats is only getting...
That's the Hollywood Reporter, so you know that has to be legit.
So
the Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Jonah Hill is asking for 10 mil. And it's more than double of what Robert Pattinson, as Batman, the title character, is reportedly getting.
Which is not uncommon. I hear that happens every now and again. Like with, who was that did Joker? He got paid more than the guy who did Batman.
What? Heath Ledger did not get paid more than Christian Bale.
Wrong Joker, bro.
What?
So,
Nicholson?
Jack Nicholson?
Nicholson over... Was
Over
it Keaton?
Keaton?
Oh, yeah. he
Over
did.
Keaton, that makes sense. Because
Yeah.
Nicholson was at the time even a bigger...
Exactly.
Well, even now, a bigger name than Keaton.
Like, I could name other movies, but I wanted to keep it in the Batman world. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not necessarily a fan of Pattinson. I'm more of a fan of Jonah Hill, to be completely honest. But I think him asking for that absurd amount over the lead, he can go fuck himself.
I like how like some podcasts I've listened to how they put out like, look, he's got 2 Academy nominations under his name.
He's worth more.
And I was like, okay, I kind of get that.
So don't cast him. You can cast someone else.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, Riddler and Penguin, not that hard to cast.
I don't think he's going to get it, to be honest with you.
I agree. I don't think he's gonna get it. And if he does, I'd be shocked.
To pay that much money for no, bro.
Yeah, I'm like, he cannot be that mind blowing in any of those 2 roles of Penguin or Riddler to warrant 10 mil.
And then imagine the potential for sequels. Rob Pattinson, he's probably going to get more money for the sequel, so he'll be okay with taking less right now. But then you got to keep going up, or say the same with Jonah Hill. And
right,
you're like,
and it's like,
nah,
dude.
screw that guy.
What if he's asking for 10 mil because he's played both characters? 5 for Penguin, 5 for...
I heard that. But that's just like that's Reddit just going like shooting.
Lindsay Lohan played 2 characters in The Parent Trap. She didn't get paid more.
Jesus. And she's still poor. That poor girl.
She got into drugs and other things.
Disney.
She's sucked dick for money now.
Hey, there are very few Disney stars that got out of it just fine. Well, Disney females, the guys usually get out of it.
I personally was on... I don't like Jonah Hill for the Riddler. I think it's fun. I thought, because one of the names that was tossed out there was not even Riddler or Penguin, was Mad Hatter.
Right.
I like him as Mad
That's
Hatter.
kind of funny. And that way it's not that big of a role, but 10 mil still doesn't warrant
Well,
that.
I hear that he wants to do less comedy style roles. He wants to go more serious.
Well, yeah, Moneyball, War Dog. Well, War Dogs, he was still funny.
Yeah,
He was still funny in Wolf of Wall Street. That's his other Academy nomination.
Yeah, he still has his comedy relief, but like not centering on comedy. So that's why I think Mad Hatter, which is more eccentric, wouldn't be sneaky.
But I like the. It wasn't Hollywood Reporter. Damn, who was the other one? Variety. I think it was Variety that they're saying or speculating from like sources and God knows what that Jonah Hill would play. Let's say the Riddler would be the main antagonist. Okay. But it's like holiday themed or dated themed crimes. So Batman is actually going to Arkham and talking to Calendar Man, thinking it's him, or like a Hannibal Lecter-esque type of dynamic of help me catch who this is.
They're basing it off the Long Halloween.
Yes, that's what I was getting at.
Interesting.
Have you read that?
I read the synopsis one time.
Yeah.
I didn't actually read it.
You gotta read it. It's good.
That good?
It's good.
Yeah. That's one of the quintessential.
That's one of those books.
Bad books.
That's one of those books I give people, and I go, when you're done, explain the ending to me. I'm not saying it in a bad way. I'm just saying the book is so good, but the book has an ending that it's just like,
I don't think
what?
you do that book in one movie though.
Well, first of all, they're not going to do that. It's Warner Brothers. They're not going to adopt the
one movie. 2.5 hours.
It's not going to be adopted.
Well,
like
it wouldn't be 2.5.
I mean,
and they could skip holidays. They don't have to do them all.
They can flashback to it. Say, hey, look, this happened, this happened, this happened.
Right. Start. It's already been 3 holiday-themed crimes. That's how you know they're connected.
But look at that long list of cast already. It's a lot of money already.
Who?
In the Batman movie.
Oh, yeah, that movie. All the villains. They have a lot of villains.
That's a lot of people.
No, those... At this point, everything is speculation.
Yeah, we don't have
everything is
concrete.
Only one we know is Robert Pattinson's Batman and Matt Reeves is directing. Those are the only 2 things we fucking know.
And that might change. Who knows?
Right.
We know who's It's a lot of people already in it. We don't know who they're playing, but it's already a lot
Oh
of people
yeah,
attached.
the people who are attached to the movie.
Right. We don't know what.
But okay, so we haven't talked about it. I like the Jeffrey Wright as Gordon. That's cool.
That's to me, it's great.
That's
I got
cool.
no problem with
That
that.
wasn't even a conversation. I'm okay with that.
That's why we didn't talk about it because it was perfect. It's great. No worries. Got no problems.
I'm waiting for the internet to blow and be upset about it though.
I've never complained about the casting. You know,
Right.
never complained about casting.
Never complained about casting?
No.
Not even for Heath Ledger?
No.
No?
I complained about Heath Ledger.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of people complain about Heath Ledger.
But again, I'm also old enough. I complained about Michael Keaton.
Yeah.
But did you complain about George Clooney?
At that point, there was no point in complaining.
George Clooney was Bruce Wayne.
He was.
Come on,
And-
he's the only. You got it. Here's the thing. I'm not defending this movie, but really, George Clooney's the only one that could deliver the back credit card.
Oh my god, you were going to say it. Of course you did.
So you're gonna do the bad.
I hate the back credit card scene. That scene is so terrible.
Yeah, but you like everything else, like the back skis and the skates. And
I love everything Arnold based because it's Arnold.
It's the best. Those are the best memes.
Please. Please.
They're taking me to the cooler.
Yo, let Kevin do it. His Arnold impersonation is
My favorite line from that is what happened to the dinosaurs? No, what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age. I love it. It's my favorite.
Where he's making them all sing carols, all the
Yes.
and
It's so great. And he's just smoking a cigar and it's not even lit.
You can't light it. It's
I know, it's so good.
He's chewing on it.
Happy
love-
slippers.
I love the idea that for some ungodly known reason, diamonds are the only thing that fuels his suit.
Yeah.
Yeah, who thought of that?
Yeah, to just make him a criminal and like go steal
I know
diamonds.
who thought of that. The boardroom of
Warner Brothers.
guys.
The 90s.
Diamonds look like ice cubes. What does Mr. Freeze mean?
It's called ice.
No. Ice. Isn't that slang for diamonds?
Right.
When it's used that. That's exactly how that meeting went. And then they went and ate like an expensive lobster dinner.
Yeah. Let's use some of the budget for this.
I don't know, man. They had a lot of budget. Those suits look expensive and immovable.
That back cave looked expensive.
Yeah. It was more practical than effects.
Yeah.
So the last thing of the night.
Speaking of bad movies, and I'm not the one that even saw it.
Is I went and saw Rambo: Last Blood, and I know people on this.
I need
podcast-
pretext. Were you a fan of the Rambo franchise?
I was a fan of First Blood and Rambo: First Blood Part 2.
Okay, so
Rambo
a real
3
fan.
can go fuck itself.
So he's a real Rambo fan.
And 4?
And
And
four?
I actually kind of like 4.
Okay. That's the one that where he like mows down a bunch of Viet Cong.
Yeah.
Oh,
That big
he
gun.
does it in this movie too.
Cool. So what are there not to like versus 4?
This movie is fucking horrible.
Break it down for us, Justice.
I know some people had enjoyed my review of Another Life, my hate review of Another Life.
Oh yeah, that was funny. Of you talking about that Netflix series, how you hate watch that first season.
So this movie's coming out. I had some friends who were big Rambo fans, and from the first trailer, I was just like, I'm not.
I like the title, and I actually like the trailer.
And I just
Rambo Last Blood.
I
I'm like,
was like-
cool. And I saw the trailer. I'm like, and mind you, I've never seen a Rambo movie, and I was like, this catch my attention. I want to see
in
this.
this movie, I was just kind of like, I don't see it. Like in the last one in Rambo, I mean, he's in Cambodia. He's a man all by himself. He's living with his demons, and then these people show up to help. They need his help finding their friends who've been kidnapped. And in the beginning of that movie, at the beginning of pretty much every Rambo movie, except for the first one, they really do a good job of making you hate the villain, so that when basically he eviscerates them, you go, yeah, instead of going, ugh.
That's a perfect word for it.
You know, so this movie is pretty much no different, except that this movie takes place in America and in Mexico. John Rambo is returned home to his farm, and you have no clue. There's a young Spanish girl and her grandmother who, in question marks, live on this farm, who live in this house, but you have no idea what his relation to them are.
Oh,
And
but
it's not even explained.
that's so fucking random. Why?
We were speculating after the movie was over what their relationship was, and we was like, well, my theory was that Rambo had come home, the girl, he had met this girl. She had a daughter. He kind of ingratiated himself and married the mother. She died of cancer, and then she becomes like a surrogate father to the little girl. And this woman the grandmother was the mother of the woman who died. And, Spanish, they lived together and everything like so. Thought that. No, we were way off. Because he went on Jimmy Fallon and explained the relationship.
Okay.
The relationship was basically when Rambo returns home, his family's dead. That's his family's farm. His family has died. His parents have died. These people that are living there were the ranch hands, because it's a horse training farm. Were the ranch hands that lived on the farm and helped train the horses with the Rambo family.
Oh my God.
And when they died, they basically took over the farm. And when he came home, he kind of said, well, I'm going to ingratiate myself to these people so I can live here.
George, you know what that means? They were Rambo maids.
Mm-hmm.
So, not explained at all in the film. You're watching this movie going, I don't understand. She calls him Uncle John, and you're like, okay, why? On this farm, he's dug tunnels all underneath this farm.
Why?
No reason. Don't know.
I guess because of all the Vietcong stuff in the past.
You assume.
Right?
Never explained.
So there's a lot of assumptions to be made in this.
Yes.
That's frustrating. I remember
in order to make assumptions, you need context.
You need to watch the previous movies.
Wait, how old is man in this movie?
Holes?
167.
And he's digging trenches under his farm.
Exactly. So the young girl decides she wants to go see her father, who she's never met. Her father's been found in Mexico by a friend that moved to Mexico. They're telling her, no, don't go, don't go, don't go. She goes anywhere. Of course. She goes down there. She meets her father. Father, at first, is like, oh, you were always really smart. And then she asks the question, why did you leave us? And he gets in her face and says, because I never wanted you, you little piece of shit. Basically like that. And scares her off. Her friend sells her up the fucking river, and she gets kidnapped and put into a sex ring by a cartel.
Naturally.
Which happens.
Because that happens in Mexico.
So at home, John finds out he has to go down to Mexico to find it. He takes a gun, he goes down there. He threatens the friend who with a giant fucking knife. And then...
a la Rambo.
Yeah. And then he goes to the father first, scares the father, but does nothing to him. And that's the last you see. It's like, okay, why was that even in the movie? And then he goes to the friend, finds the friend, gets scared into revealing who was the one that kidnapped her. It's some weird playboy who's at this club all the time. Ambushes the guy at this club, because that's where they kidnapped her, was from this club.
Yeah, I mean, makes sense.
They ambushes this guy at the club. First thing he does is he jams the butt of his giant knife into his collarbone, right?
So
then he takes which has got a blade.
Yeah,
and then he jams the knife end into his leg, and then he takes his hand. I swear to God, you see all of this. Takes his hand or thumb, digs it into the wound in his collarbone, pulls out the collarbone, and snaps it.
Oh, that's brutal. Now I want to see this just for that.
And he's squeezing it, trying to get information out of him.
Well, how is he not passing out from pain?
I'm in pain right now.
My brother fractured his collarbone. That dude would sing like a bird.
So he gets told where to go. All the cartels there. They ambush, kick the shit out of him. When he gets kicked, they kick the shit out of him. The two brothers that are running the cartel, they mark him. They cut his face, and the one of them comes up to him and says, look, we were just going to turn this girl out. We were going to chain her, turn her out, and sell her. Now that you've come to visit us, we're going to fuck this girl up. Okay? And then like I said, they mark her. Then they go to the girl, and they mark the girl, too. They cut her face up. Then there's a 4-day montage of Rambo healing on a couch because Paz Vega comes out of nowhere and saves him. Rambo healing on a couch. The grandmother sitting on the porch, rocking in a rocking chair, just like, what's happening? And then the girl being drugged and turned out numerous times.
Sounds like it was written by a man who really likes the 90s.
It sounds like Dark Knight Rising.
What?
When he was speaking. That's what it sounds like.
So Rambo convalesces, then gets help from Paz Vega, goes to a brothel. I don't know how she picked the right. I don't know how they picked the right one.
There can't be that many there, you know.
I guess goes. You'll love this. Goes with a hammer, and basically every guy he sees just bashes them all in the head, and tells all the prostitutes to get out. And they're all like, "We're not leaving," because they were all told in the beginning, "If you leave, we will find you and we will kill you, or we will fuck you up." So they're all like, "We're good." So, but even the Johns, every guy he sees, the first thing, bam, smashes him right in the fucking head. Finds the girl, starts taking the girl home. She dies halfway fucking home.
So the whole point of everything is not involved.
Pretty much. So then he goes home, tells the grandmother, go stay with your sister. There's nothing left for you here. Then basically turns the entire farm into a kill zone.
Like Rambo would.
So this movie turns into like a weird indie movie, Taken in the middle, and then Home Alone?
Yeah, that's a perfect example. Yes.
Well, I'm sorry.
Wait.
I know you're shitting on it. I love this. I can't wait to see this.
There's a little bit of Requiem for a Dream in there.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll circle back to this. He then has to get the cartel to come to the kill zone?
What do you mean get to? What?
Shouldn't they be following him already?
No. There's a scene in the movie where they go to the brothel where he's basically killed everybody and kidnapped and brought the girl back, and they're like, you never should have let the guy live. You should listen to me, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, all right, well, what are we going to do? It's like, nothing. I don't give a shit about that guy anymore. He's gone. Fuck him. We're going to go continue on. They were done with him.
That is the smartest thing I've ever heard a villain do.
For real. And it's like, hey, we got fucked. Let the guy go.
Yeah. So he goes, like I said, he turns the entire farm into a kill zone. He goes back to Mexico.
And they don't come for him.
Is there a montage where Rambo's waiting for them? Like,
No. He knows he's got to go. He's got to go back.
Okay.
He goes back to Mexico.
No, I kind of, from that description, Justin, I really want a montage of him creating the kill zone.
He does.
Get the fuck out of here.
There's a whole montage.
Dude, there's nothing bad about this movie. I'm so excited.
There's a hole where he's going into the tunnels. He's digging.
Yeah.
He's digging holes where he's pouring like gasoline into the holes.
That's fucking
he's
awesome.
He's planting guns and knives and shit all
over.
He's building like rebar spikes and putting them in holes.
Dude, those are my favorite parts of the John Wick movies. Is when he's just getting ready to go on night killing.
Okay.
Oh, God,
so
great.
So he doesn't wait for them. Like, hey, they didn't figure out they have to come get me.
No. He goes back. He goes back.
I want a montage of that. Him just like, wait.
Yeah.
So he goes back to Mexico, goes back to the place where he got the shit kicked out of him. But this time he realizes where he made his mistake, and he starts taking people out one at a time.
Okay.
The one of the brothers who you hate at this point gets killed off screen.
What?
Like, yeah. You see him go into the bedroom. Like, he kills everybody. Like, he goes through and brutally kills everybody in this penthouse. Then he goes into the bedroom with one of these brothers who, I'm sorry, this is the one, of the two brothers, this is the one you hate more because of this movie. And then he walks into the bedroom, you hear the shower going, and then cuts. And then the next thing you see is the rest of the cartel out front. It's daytime now, all with their gold guns, machine guns. And then the other brother shows up. And they're like, what happened? And he goes in, and the dismembered body of the brother is fucking stapled to the wall with knives, missing his head, and then one of the knives is in his heart with the picture of the girl. And then from there it cuts to Rambo driving down the road, taking the head and dropping it out the window onto the road.
This is like a 90s cliche movie.
Dude, I love this.
Did this dude write it?
This is amazing, Joe.
One of them.
He was one of the writers. Yeah, it makes perfect sense that he wrote this.
So he gets them, and then they show how they get to America, how they go to one of the
Coyotes.
Yeah, no, they go to one of the warehouses on one side of the border, and they have the tunnel that's on the other side.
Dude, it's so cliche.
They show Trump's half-built wall and how he should be finishing this wall. So these people,
I don't know.
Border Patrol comes by, gets paid off.
They all show up at the fucking
Rancho de Rambo.
Pretty much. And he goes through and he brutally murders, and I mean, You see it all. Brutally murders every single one of these sons of bitches.
So he's
right?
Michael Myers now.
So pretty much. So like he's got everything stashed. He's got people falling in holes on spikes, and it's not even like okay. He's like people are dying. They're falling on spikes in ground. He's running up behind them as they're dead, and he's shooting them. He's shooting them some more. Like there's people who get stabbed in the face and stuff like that. They're gone, and he's running up and shooting them in the chest, like okay, just to make sure.
Mozambique style.
He's chopping people's legs off.
This is awesome.
Kevin's way too excited.
He's doing all this stuff. So he gets to a point where he gets on the radio. He's killed almost everybody, and the only person that's left is the last brother. And he tells him, he's like, I let you live because there was a point where he could have killed him and he didn't. He's like, I let you live because I want you to know what it's like to have your heart ripped out, like you did to me, like I'm going to do to you. And you're like, oh, nice metaphor. At the end of the movie, he shoots the guy with arrows, pins him to a wall, then walks up with a knife and cuts the fucker's heart out and rips it out.
You know how hard that is? Ribs are really hard to break.
Dude, fatality.
Pretty much.
No, it's
right?
cutting him off from Indiana Jones.
Fatality.
So, like, that's the entire movie. Now, I didn't say I hated this movie.
You didn't. You did say it was just a bad movie.
It was just a bad movie.
Yeah.
You're watching this going, I love this. And I'm telling you, it's an entertaining ride. It's just, it does not cohere into a movie at all.
Yeah, they made it just for the action, not the storytelling.
Cool. There are scenes in this movie where things are hitting people in the face and you see it, like, cut through, like, to the back of their heads.
It's like a horror movie.
It is. It's like watching Saw.
Yeah.
But it's Rambo initiating justice.
I'm about that. That's awesome.
I mean, it's just...
Kevin, when are we watching this?
I'm down.
It's worth a look. I will admit, if you like that stuff, it's worth a look. But, I mean, oh my God, dude. By the end of that movie, we were just like, the fuck? And then the worst part about this movie was, at the end of the movie, when the movie's over... they start showing you scenes from the other movies. So you see Rambo's journey, right? So you see scenes from First Blood Part 2, from Rambo 3, from John Rambo. And then you start seeing scenes from this movie where you're like, hey, remember when that happened 5 minutes ago? Like, they show a montage of scenes from this movie.
They show a montage of a montage.
That's so random. It's Rambo.
Dude, you can tell that the people who made this movie were not in touch at all with how to do
20 minutes.
Dude, I don't get it. It's like they did edits and then forgot they did edits.
I will admit, I watched the movie and I enjoyed myself because it was very brutal and it was fun. But like I said, it's not a movie.
Jesus.
It's a bunch of scenes shoved together.
It really, there's things that happen in that movie that you sit there and you go, why? like him driving down the road with the head. Like, how far did he drive with that head in the side of his car, bleeding all over his, how long
his
before?
interior.
At what point did he decide, here's a good spot and tossed it out the window?
I would have put it on like a pike or something.
But I didn't understand why they really, like I said, these movies do a really good job of making you hate the villains. Like, if you watch the last Rambo movie, the whole thing in the last Rambo movie is that the guy who's running the camp where the people are been kidnapped to seems to like to rape young boys. And they show you that shit. And they're making when he comes up and he starts killing them, you're like, yes, fuck that guy. And this movie's trying to do the same thing with these two brothers. But the brother you hate more is killed off screen.
Yeah, that's annoying.
Like, I have two theories on that, real quick. Primary one, they filmed it, they edited it out because I don't know.
They wanted to put that head in. They wanted to put that scene where he tosses the head out the window.
Yeah, but why not the other brother?
Oh, but I mean, it could have been
the other brother. He rips the fucker's heart out.
Right. Why not do that to the main one that you hate?
Well, no, because they established it early. Because the brother that he cuts the head off, he's the one that says, "No, fuck him. We're done with him. He's gone. We're done."
You hate him more, but he wasn't the main bad guy.
That's funny.
So I mean, yeah, they could have just been.
And the other one really wasn't all that scary. The most that guy did was he was the one that walked up to Rambo and said, "Look, we were just going to turn her out, but now we're going to fuck her up." And they show scenes of like forcing heroin into her veins and her getting fucking killed.
Dude, this is definitely a bunch of baby boomers.
But when she dies halfway through the movie, and it's kind of like the reason for the movie dies with her.
Yeah. When you said that, it didn't make any sense.
It's like I could understand him bringing her home and then being like, I'm gonna fuck all these people up for what they did to you. But the fact that they took it a step further and killed her was just it just was like it didn't need to happen.
It could have gone in a different direction. She could have died as he was taking him down.
He was already pissed.
Yeah.
He was already pissed. You just by killing her, all you've done is just I don't know, just
lost the reason for
the movie.
Technically, he should be grieving.
So it wasn't a hate watch review, but it was a review. If you're into that sort of thing, by all means go watch it. But I'm telling you now, it's not a movie.
I'm about to see it, George.
Let me know.
That sounds like such a mess.
You got the 4K TV. You let me know.
Yeah.
So until next week, I think we're going to be done now. Catch us on all social media. Catch us on all podcast listening platforms.
Rogue Nation Pod.
And next week we'll have our preview of NCC and NYCC, I guess I should say. And
Mike, a quick question. Who said Rogue out when I wasn't here?